thing. So I kind of want to. Does everybody kind of remember what happened? What little happened last session?
Yeah, we met so.
Yeah. So I do want to do a slight retcon of that encounter, just a very slight one. Um, so basically, we'll pick back up on deck of the ship before Calypso has left. Two things of note that I want to make a point of that I missed last session, which is why I want to retcon before she left, is that when she hands you the magical, the pearl that she hands you, there's as you take it, it begins to emit a bit of a glow, and that glow begins to brighten and brighten and brighten to the point where it obscures all vision with pure white light for everyone on board. As after a few moments, it begins to fade. Calypso is gone. You are all still standing on the deck and no longer returned back to your original places. However, there is a difference now. Each of you feels a bit of a burning sensation on the inside of your wrists, on the inside of your left wrists, each of you. And as each of you kind of instinctively like look around after the, trying to get your vision back after the white light, and you realize that Calypso and the ship are both gone, and you feel this burning pain on each of your wrists, and you look down to find a small, almost like a tattoo of a trident, just the head of a trident, with in the center of like the base of where the three forks are is a pearl. And as you're kind of all standing there individually, this is just for the main party members, not the gems. But as you kind of stand there and are looking at these marks on your wrist, all of you, one thing that you hear a sound that kind of the first thing that cuts through the silence as you guys all begin to feel a little bit of wind start blowing again from the immense calm that was there during Calypso's presence, and you hear the flapping of your flag at the top of the mast. Go ahead and make a perception check.
30.
Okay.
14.
14.
13.
13.
Didn't it? Nope, it didn't.
First page. I rolled a 4, so not very high.
Okay. Brandon, what did you roll?
18.
18. So Brandon and Ben, can you both, or Zezel and Ben, can you both realize as you look up, you see the flag flapping, and the two of you notice that there's been a slight change made to the flag, where before there were two crossed boarding axes beneath the skull. There is now laid horizontal across the bottom is a trident with the shaft and everything laid out beneath the skull.
Instead of the boarding axes, or
Instead of the boarding axes, beneath the pirate flag. And once again, like I described last time in the last session before things ended, you all have this. You've all, even though she's gone and you can't see her, you all now very much feel the presence of Calypso. So yeah, you guys are all aboard the ship after having this encounter with this goddess, and are on your way to Pirate Isle. What in the wake of this encounter, is there anything that any of you individually would be doing, or be pondering, or any of those kinds of things
Is
in the
the
wake
rest
of
of the
this?
ship the same? Is the flag different?
Yeah, everything else seems to be the same so far. Though you guys are more than welcome to investigate the ship.
Probably do.
the pearl that we got, it's Same as last time, just one blessing.
Yes.
Okay.
So yes, it acts exactly the same as before. You call upon Calypso in a time of need, and she will grant you a favor.
Can I investigate my trident?
Yes, absolutely, you can.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Yeah. So
Your trident.
as yeah, it is the same thing. No, it is.
Very pointy trident.
No, but as you investigate it, you do begin to feel that the power that you touched only briefly, that one instance when you kind of went avatar state, when you guys used the blessing of Calypso last time, you kind of felt, you now kind of feel a slight hum of that power within the trident, and you get a sense that there might be a few things different. Outside of the game, your character doesn't like fully understand just yet until he uses it. But for your knowledge, for your character sheet, add an extra +1 to that trident. I think it was a +1 before, making it a +2 now, or is it a +2 now, making it a +3?
We're about to find out.
Yeah. I can remember.
It was a +2, now it's +3.
+2. Okay. So yeah, you guys are, like I said, aboard the ship. Your investigation. You're investigating the ship. 14. You are unable to find anything that stands out that's different about the ship. So, is there anything else anybody would like to be doing over the course of this evening before you guys make port on the Pirate Island in the morning?
I'm going to be spending my time studying this spell book.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just kind of, I guess, I don't know, hang out with Jim McGray.
Gotcha. Okay. Absolutely. So after your long rest, you'll have access to the spells.
Okay.
So yeah, we will fast forward through the night. As I'm sure most of you, Venkin's tearing the ship apart, looking for anything else that's new. And I'm sure Zezel is probably in the captain's quarters. But morning comes, and with the morning light brings sight of the Pirate Isle. If I'm not mistaken, you guys said that you are going to see the Seeress first. Was that the decision you guys made?
I think that was the plan.
So as the Pirate Isle comes into view, Brandon, can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. As the Pirate Isle comes into view, and I'm sure all of you are in your normal spots. Day is broken. Gyms are on deck, manning various things. I'm sure the Commodore is at the wheel. Perry, you're in, I imagine, in your crow's nest. As you guys make sight, and you hear the gems calling around that land and all this kind of stuff, and they're making ready. Molly comes on the deck of the ship, and she comes up to the wheel, Zezel, where you're at, and says, and she begins to direct you with the instructions that she received on how to find the Seeress, and she steers you around. If you guys are looking, you guys look at the map. I don't know if anybody has access to that site to me.
Should.
This is the same like 2-dragon encounter. Maybe I'm crazy.
No, so. As you guys look here, you see you're on the west side of the aisle. You see just below this kind of bump that comes out on the western side. Just below that, almost kind of here, I'll come around.
And that little
Look at
cove
it.
right there, like here.
Do we need a laser?
Yes, exactly. Yes, right there. Yeah, that would be nice. A laser pointer would be nice. But as you guys steer kind of around this part, you see a bit of an inlet, and like almost like a lagoon, like where this little bay opens up into like this kind of shallow, um, very scenic, very beautiful kind of lagoon-looking area with clear blue water. And when she says, Molly says to you, Zezel, she says, "Yeah, this is it. We got to walk the rest of the way."
Wait,
Yeah. So, and she says, but she pulls out of her out of a pouch on her belt. She pulls out a small leather map, and it's nothing fancy, but it's a small. It looks like a very old map of the Pirate Isle. And as she kind of pulls it out and lays it on like the railing of the ship and begins to show you guys kind of this little bit of a winding path that follows up and through kind of the so this isle is quite forested. There's a lot of scrub and brush and trees and things, and there's kind of a bit of a trail that you can see, and this map shows this kind of little bit of a winding trail. But however, I would imagine as you guys are all kind of standing around Molly looking at this map, I imagine Perry, with your experience and knowledge of maps, go ahead and make a perception check for me on this map.
That's a
15.
15.
You notice on the other side uh, the pirate city, and you finally have a name for it. This map gives this city a name. It's called Rumlegs Cove. And you see next to it, there's a little illustration of a skull and crossbones next to the city. Also on the map with your 15, you see on the south side of the map, you see nothing. There's no words illustrated, but you see a small illustration that looks like a well on the southern portion of the map. Or on the southern portion of the isle.
I have a question. Is there like, 'cause I know Zezel was looking for more gyms. Is there a place that we can send like Jim the Great and the other captains that aren't PCs, party members, to go recruit?
I'm sure you could if you guys wanted to.
Like in this little cove, is there a little city? Or
Not
a
in the
town?
cove that you're in. No,
Okay.
this is a completely natural and like
Okay.
completely untouched area. It seems. Looking at the map, you can see that on the other side of the aisle, inside, so directly opposite of where you're at, on the other side of the aisle. As you're looking at the map, also you see there's like a little bit of a very small mountainous area in the center of the island, and so basically on the other side of the mountains from where you're at is the pirate city, Rumlegs Cove. So if you wanted to, you could have because you guys are sailing with 3 of your 4 ships. The only one missing being the Blacktooth Grin. Go ahead.
Is there a port at that since you said it's on the other side, is there could they just sail around to that city?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they could sail around if you guys wanted to send them off while you guys are doing this to start a recruiting process.
I think
Absolutely.
that's a good idea.
Leave one ship behind for you guys to make your way around. Yeah, absolutely. So you can send, I imagine, keep the Jimmy Changa there, and then send the Windless Sail and the Jim Reaper around. Okay.
For lulls, we could leave the Windless Sail one.
Huh?
I said just for the lulls, we could leave the Windless Sail one.
Oh, so you guys are gonna sail back on the Windless Sail and send your flagship and
Yeah, we gotta keep our 2 gnome first half mates.
Yeah. I'm not gonna do that to Aruk. We'll just sail the Jimmy Chonga back.
Okay. All right. So you guys keep a hold of
We could literally have to stay on his belly the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. So you guys send the crew of the Windless Sail as well as the Grim Reaper uh, around to the other side of the aisle to Rumleg's Cove in order to hopefully begin a recruiting process and trying to find sailors to sail with you. So yeah, you guys disembark and begin to make your way into this very thick, dense kind of underbrush and growth. Though as you guys begin to fight your way through the first maybe 20 feet of it, it pretty soon opens up into a little trail. It's not very well trodden, but it's trodden enough that it doesn't take a significant amount of tracking in order to keep the trail. You guys walk for maybe 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes at the most, and the brush overhead begins to get so thick, the canopy above you begins to get so thick that it starts to become dark. It's like evening levels, like almost twilight levels of dark underneath this very, very thick canopy. But the surrounding countryside is absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's like, for the first time in a while, I would say probably Venkin, being a druid, is like definitely feeling at home in this area. Like definitely getting a very much a sense of peace and rest. Although, make an insight check for me. Okay, with a 15, as you're moving through this forested area, you do get the sense that you don't know where, you don't know what, but you do get the sense that just while you're kind of taking in the nature and kind of the energies of the area, you get a sense that somewhere on this isle, some of this nature has been destroyed, and in an evil way, with malice and ill intent. You do get the sense that there's some part of this island that is plagued by some kind of evil. But that's the only real feeling that you get from it. So as you guys hike your way further and further into the darkness of this forest, before long, you come upon a small cottage. It's not anything fancy. There's a small structure outside where you see some firewood gathered with a little kind of lean-to over top of it to protect it from the elements. It's of cobbled stone construction with a wooden and thatched style roof. I mean, the entire structure is maybe 12 foot by 12 foot with a single window and a single door. And the door's closed.
Can I make a investigation check on the foundation?
The foundation of it?
What's your basement?
Sure, absolutely. What particularly of the are you trying to investigate about the foundation?
Just to see if it's ever moved.
Okay. Yeah, see if you have any idea of whether it's not smooth. Absolutely.
Yep. Investigation. That is going to be a 16.
A 16. 16. It doesn't appear that it has. That you find no evidence that it has moved.
I want to check for any kinds of signs of life nearby.
Okay, so anything specific you're looking for, maybe tracks?
Yeah.
Looking around at the ground mostly?
Yeah, tracks, maybe some disheveled brush, anything that shows.
Absolutely.
What do you mean to roll?
Investigation.
Okay. +1. 13.
13. Yeah, you see that there are some prints. The only thing that you find of any import is you do see some prints that don't seem very fresh, but maybe that could be anywhere from a week to a month old.
Okay.
You imagine with the immense amount of canopy cover that even when it rains very hard, not a very much rain actually makes it to the floor here.
Okay.
And the area around the cottage itself is pretty well cleared, but you do find some tracks leading to and from the door.
To and from the door. Okay. Do they seem humanoid or?
Yeah, they seem humanoid. They seem diminutive, although maybe not like to the level of like a halfling or a gnome, but they seem diminutive in size.
Okay. I want to.
Do you have a name for the Seeress?
Yeah, Madam Inama.
Quit.
I want to detect magic on a house.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you cast your detect magic, and
What's a drink? Max.
No, I'm good right now, man. Thank you.
so as you cast your detect magic and you get your 30-foot radius around you, this house lights up like a freaking Christmas tree. There's all manner of magic surrounding this abode. There's so detect magic tells you the school and everything, right?
Mhm.
So there's abjuration magic, there's illusion magic, there's evocation magic, there is
Does it seem like there's wards?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Detect magic. What else do I get here?
Like the school of magic and the nature of the spell or something, or the nature of the item, right?
Yeah, I have identified, but I don't have detect magic.
School of magic.
Yeah, so yeah, like I said, there's abjuration, there's illusion, and there's evocation.
Can I, because he was looking for tracks and stuff on the ground, can I investigate the canopy area? Like,
Oh yeah,
around
absolutely,
us?
absolutely.
It'd be a 28.
With a 28, with a 28, you actually do notice that in various places, hung from branches, basically completely surrounding this cottage
Okay.
are various small stones that have like almost like runes carved onto them, like runes of protection and things that are like little trinkets and things that are hung. Some of them there may be small animal bones or teeth and claws attached to, and different things. All various manner of trinkets and protective sigils and stuff carved into little items and hung from tree branches all around.
Would I recognize what any of this means?
So you would imagine that they are probably some kind of could be protection, it could be offensive, not entirely sure. But you do notice that they're everywhere. There's probably 2 or 3 dozen of them.
Okay.
So,
Without like extreme urgency, I'll just kind of like alert the rest of the party
yeah,
to
absolutely.
my finding.
I would like to ask Molly if there's any way like we should approach the house, or if she knows anything that would like help us like make better first impression.
She says, no, I've never been here before, only I've been instructed on how to find the place, but on nothing further. I've never met her before. Sorry.
Do you know anything about her? Trust to.
I know that not everything surrounding her is as it seems, and that she's very powerful and very old. But other than that, I don't know much.
So when she says that, I'll go ahead and cast Commune with Nature. 3-mile radius. You become one with the nature, gain knowledge of surrounding territory. I'll just read it. Easily gain knowledge of 3 facts of choice in any of the following subjects as they relate to the area. So the 3 I'll pick is prevalent plants, minerals, and/or people, powerful celestials, fae, fiends, elementals, or undead, and then lastly, influence from other planes of existence.
Okay, so we'll start. Influence from planes of other existence. You find no evidence of any influence from planes of other existence. As far as like entities in the surrounding area, and creatures of various kinds, fays, fiends, etc. You are aware of. It's tricky because it's kind of throwing you off a little bit, but you get the impression that there's both only one person inside of this building, but also you also feel like there's two people inside this building as well. It's very strange. You get the sense that there could either be one or two. Normally, you would get a definitive, but in this case, something off. And then you said prevalent plants, minerals. So these two entities, they do give off. You do recognize these two, potentially one entities, do give you the Fey feeling. And as far as plants, minerals, people, obviously the people that you know are here. But as far as people, you don't get the sense there's any people inside this. Now, as far as like prevalent plants, there are. It seems that of all of the dangerous species of plants that are on this isle, the vast majority of them are clustered around this structure in the surrounding area. All of the venomous animals. There are toads on this island that secrete a poisonous venom. There are I said poisonous venom. That's hilarious. That secrete a venom from their backs. There are poisonous trees. There are all like various kinds of like things along the lines of like poison oak ivy, that kind of stuff. Minerals, kind of there's basically standard stuff as far as minerals. You find like stone, iron, that kind of stuff. A lot of silica and sand.
Like special gemstones or anything.
Yeah, no, not in the surrounding area. You don't see anything. I mean, you imagine maybe if you dug really, really deep, you might find some veins of some things in this aisle. If you dug very, very deep.
300 feet is the depth for underground.
Oh, 300 feet. Yeah, you think that you're pretty certain that below you there is a few veins of copper, tin, and iron mostly beneath you.
So they're like just a world question. Is there like magical, like would that detect like magical lines of energy that flow through the earth? Or?
No, not necessarily. It's especially if it's just
like
minerals.
Planes of existence would be the only thing, but it's not really magical.
Wait.
Yeah.
And the only other question I would have on that one, on like is. Okay, I lost it.
Lost it.
So,
Yeah, I passed that on to everybody else.
Okay.
At least there's only one.
Oh, so like the spot that he detected where he did his investigation for the Isle, is this the spot that seems disturbed, or was it somewhere else? Since you just cast that.
no, this place does not give him that. It does not give him the sense that this is the place that is affected by evil.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do not get the sense that this is the place that is affected by evil.
Is that nearby or?
It is not. It is not. It is not very, very far.
So is it outside of the 3 miles?
Yeah, it is, but he feels on the edges of his kind of periphery. You feel that in a southerly direction, you get the sense that the evil is kind of touching the boundaries of your periphery in a southerly direction.
How big is this?
It's maybe a couple of miles across, 4 or 5 miles across at its longest.
Okay. Yeah, what do you guys want to do?
Where's the window? Is it like next to the door on the front side of it?
Yeah. It's covered. You see like almost like an animal fur kind of covering over the window that you could see through the pane.
And is it like a front porch area?
No,
Or
it's
is it
just a
just
couple
like
of
the
steps.
face of
There's
the-
just a
okay.
couple of like two little up to the door.
I want to peer into the window,
Yeah, you kind of
if possible, without being detected.
yeah, absolutely. So you kind of you can roll with stealth for me if you'd like.
Natural 20.
Okay. Yeah, so you very, very stealthily sneak up to the window and peer in, and all you can see is basically the tanned hide of whatever animal covering that she's using to cover the window.
Damn.
Alright, well.
Damn.
I look back to the party. The window seems to be obscured.
Alright. I'm gonna walk up to the door and do the 2 shaves and a haircut.
There you go. Yeah, gotcha. And after a few moments, you kind of walk up and politely knock. And after a few moments, you hear a shuffle of feet across the floor, kind of slow moving.
Fuzzy socks.
Kind of almost, yeah, almost kind of like soft, like soft feet moving across wood, across creaky wood planks. But it's a bit of a slow moving walk, and you hear of this big bolt unlocking on the door, and then of the door kind of swinging open to reveal a small, very diminutive woman in like the most grandmotherly garb you could possibly ever imagine. Like I'm talking like an apron that's like, you know what I mean, like apron made of like
I'm thinking of
various fabrics that have kind of been
Courage
stitched
the Cowardly
together.
Dog, Grandma?
Kind of yes, but much smaller and much more feeble.
Okay. Not as
But with a
Grandma.
with a deep bronze kind of color to her skin, and
Eustace Banks. I mean.
no,
Is that the other?
What?
but her hair
Eustace Banks.
tied up into her long silver hair tied up into a tight bun on top of her head, and she just kind of smiles at you with the warmest, most grandmotherly smile, and says, "Oh, you finally made it," and
Give a
she says,
slight
"All right,
bow.
come on in."
I give a slight bow and I introduce Commodores as a.
She's like, I know Zezel and Perry and Venkin and Belrin and Baruch. Yeah. Oh, and Molly, I see you there. And she kind of steps out of the way and says, "Come on
I know. I'm sorry. I'm breaking house rules.
If you're okay with it, I'm okay with
I'm
it.
perfectly fine with
in." And she stands aside and opens the door for you all to enter. Is everyone entering?
Yeah, I guess so.
Anyone hesitating?
Yeah, I would probably wait.
I'm a little
at the
hesitant.
door.
Yeah.
Does it swing in or out?
Swings in.
Okay. All right. Well then, I'll just I'll like bring up the rear, so I'll let everybody else come in.
Am I gonna
Like do that.
insult her if I cast a spell somewhere?
You don't know.
She,
I don't know.
she pitches.
You don't know? You have no idea.
I fly right in, no hesitation.
Yeah,
Where's
Zezel
the
just kind
cookies?
of cloak billowing behind him. It's just kind of patterns up those
as,
steps
I feel
quickly.
like as we all enter our culture.
Okay, I'll leave it alone. I don't feel like I saw enough magic sigils around. I'm just gonna leave it alone.
So yeah, you enter to find like quite the cozy little like area. It's definitely larger on the inside than it appears from the outside, but not massively so.
Okay.
There's a little like kitchen nook in the corner, where you see there's like some dough that's like she's kind of in the process of kneading. You see there's a little bit of like flour on her apron, and you know she's kind of like wiping her hands on a towel. There's one wall that's just shelving, and it's just got just jars of all manner of like different food items and stuff stored in them. You see that there's another small corner that has a little fireplace that's roaring though you don't remember seeing a stack or smoke coming from the outside. And there's sitting in front of the fireplace are two very old looking but very comfortable looking leather chairs that are kind of both like angled in like so, facing towards the fire. And in another corner, there are two beds kind of like this into the corner, one along this wall, one along this wall, and then in the center of the room there's a table that has 8 chairs around it. And as you guys enter and she closes the door behind you, you go ahead and make a perception check.
21.
26.
12.
18.
18 and Zezel?
14.
What was it?
14.
14.
Okay, so 18 and up, the three of you notice another figure sitting in one of the chairs, facing the fire. All you see of this figure is a black cloak with the hood up. You kind of can only see like looking like over the shoulder, and so you just see the cowl of the hood, and you see one long black sleeve resting on the arm of the chair, and the most decrepit looking hand you've ever seen clutching the end of the chair.
I don't like it.
Don't notice.
No, you're just kind of looking at something else while you just hadn't noticed yet.
Ooh, Jar Jar.
Yeah. Basically, yes.
I got a jar there.
That's what's inside. Yeah. And she, as you guys all are kind of looking around, and you notice this figure. This figure doesn't move or react. It just stays where it is. But she sits down at the table and she says, "Come now, sit around." And as she kind of offers her hand like this around the table in a gesture of welcome, each of the chairs by themselves just scoot out from the table.
I noticed the person, they're facing the fireplace, but still going to be away from us even at the table.
Yeah, those are the basic.
So I apologize and ask for interrupting their time with company.
Oh, no bother.
With my detect magic still being active, does this figure set off any alarm bells or anything?
Oh yeah, everything in this place sets off alarm bells.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, like
You're blind.
down to like it seems like down to like the freaking stuff in the jars is magical of some kind. Everything.
Even the dirt.
Even the dirt.
Yeah. Everything seems to give off some kind of magic. There's almost so much. It's almost like information overload.
Sure.
Like so, you get. It's almost to the point where there's so much going on you can't tell even what's coming from where. Like there's some evocation magic over here somewhere, probably for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, kind of thing. There's just it's almost like sensory overload for your detect magic. Yeah.
So, I guess what I'm trying to find out is if this figure is like corporeal or some kind of like a visit.
You get the sense that this figure is there. It
Actually
is,
there,
It is
okay.
absolutely actually there.
Okay.
And breathing.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
We haven't asked that question yet.
Yeah. Every so often you see like you'll almost like see the fingers kind of twitch a little bit
Yeah.
So,
and like almost
is
like
it
a
just
readjusting
one hand?
position. That's all you can see from the angle that you were at. But yeah, you
Well, I
imagine
didn't
there's
see it.
another
Yeah, I
hand.
was just asking.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So from that angle you just see the one hand.
I want to sit directly across from that figure.
So like position at the table so you can keep an eye
Like
on
yeah,
that
like
figure.
here.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like sit in the fireplace.
No.
Yeah, no, I get it. I understand. Absolutely. So you all taking your seat?
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit next to Paragon's and
Absolutely.
I will, I guess, sit with my back facing the fireplace.
Okay.
So I don't notice.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys take your seats.
Do I feel warmth from the fireplace?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. You do. You feel as you kind of move around to that side. You feel the kind of the warmth of it touching your back.
Can I ask Madame Adana? I guess it's like I didn't notice a chimney outside.
She says, "Guess you must not been paying attention, huh?"
I guess you're just dumb.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Yeah.
Got it.
But she says so with a kind of a kind, like a bit of a kind smile on her face, like you could tell she's just teasing you.
Mhm.
She doesn't look like she's about to like vaporize you for asking a question. Yet. So yeah, she
Ask for a shrubbery.
a shrubbery with a pack. The knights who until recently said me. Anyways, yeah, so she sits. You all take your seats around the table, and she kind of looks around, and almost with the barest hint of like humoring you, she says, "To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit?"
Well, you were expecting us. Don't you already know why we're gonna be here?
I get a sense of who is coming to see me, but not always why.
I look over to Molly and ask if she could explain.
Molly looks fucking terrified as you look over. Molly is like literally quaking. Like,
I guess I would be like, well, so we were sent here by the Pirate King, and I don't remember what Molly.
as you say the words Pirate King, you hear from behind you the creak of leather as you see the hand clench a little bit on the leather chair.
And then I don't remember Molly's mom's name.
Althea.
Althea. And Althea. And we are seeking information on the well, Tia Dalma, and we are seeking information on certain gemstones that we've found.
And again, at the mention of the gemstones,
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, you're freaking this like you see.
I was like, and I'm like, is the foundation?
It's fine, dear. She kind of reaches over and pats your arm. But you see at the mention of the gemstones, you see that this entity that's sitting in the chair, you hear like almost like the sound of like nails puncturing into leather as this entity seems to be not necessarily thrilled with the topic of conversation.
Okay. First, I would be like, I guess we can talk about Hidalma.
Yes. What would you like to know about Tia Dalma?
So she's been, at least since I've joined this motley crew, she has been a thorn in our side. And I guess I'll go into like explaining like the history of what I do know, but I would refer to one of the, like the Commodore or Perry or Benkin or something, one of the OG members of the Gym Reapers. And I would like start explaining like the process of where we've been that at least I know of intimately. Like our fights with her on the ships and all the sirens and all the things that she's brought to bear against us, and her trying to steal the.
Yeah, certainly. She says, "Oh yes, such a troubled child." As you kind of see her eyes like look like.
Is she an actual person, or is she like?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Oh yes.
She just demented, or what? Like, like who
more
does she follow?
That I do not know, but she's as you're speaking, kind of talking, She kind of reaches under the table into the pocket of her apron, and as you're speaking, she reaches out and pulls out this fucking ball. Okay,
Did I see a bulge in her apron?
you see this ball. It's about yay.
Roll this.
Like it's so black that like light does not escape from it. Nothing reflects off of it. It's like it's so black that it's hard to tell that it's 3-dimensional. It almost looks 2-dimensional because light doesn't even reflect off of it, and it like
that new Vantablack?
Thinking of the name.
And she kind of places the orb down onto the table, but it doesn't touch the surface of the table. It almost just hovers above the surface of the table. As you see her like long kind of knobby fingers like hovering over it, and she's like kind of closes her eyes, and you see like almost like a little bit of the faintest hint of like almost like worry across her face. And as this is happening, you hear more uncomfortable creaking coming from the leather chair behind you. As she says, as for who she follows, I cannot see. Something blocks my sight. You see she kind of almost like shivers, and something evil.
Would it help if I provided a name?
She kind of looks at you, and she kind of like this whole time she's kind of been focusing her attention on her root during this conversation. But when you say that, she kind of looks over at you and says, "What name?"
Well, I don't want to speak his name, but from what I've been told, her patron is known as He Who Watches.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
As you say that, the fire like roars, and like you hear the crackle of it as it begins to consume, almost like you hear like whistles almost coming from it.
I start sweating.
And and she says, "That is very bad." As she says, "He who watches." I will not say his name either, though. If she truly is allied with that thing, then your mission is much more difficult than you anticipated. I get the sense that you have encountered her many times and have defeated her thus far, but do not count on that to always be the case. She is, if she is doing what I think she might be doing, it could have grave consequences. She says, however, though I cannot see her now, I do know much about her past. Is there anything in particular you would like to know?
She got daddy issues.
So what is
Yo,
the
chill.
Ancient feuds.
How about
Blood
how old
feuds.
is Amon?
Amon? You'd be surprised to know he's not as old as I expect you imagine he is. Amon is not even barely no longer a child. Amon has not even reached 100 years of age. But the feud between the two of them is really impersonal. It's not necessarily something in particular that happened between the two of them, more the results of an ancient feud between two bloodlines. I'm sure if you have encountered and sail with the offspring of Amon, then you're aware of the Amari and the Amaru. Are you aware of the history between those two and what occurred? The White Lotus was a much later formation. Spawned out of the Amari.
I was more like I knew the White Lotus, but that's all.
I know that
later.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I knew only of the White Lotus.
we have a letter that we found about two groups. They had a different idea for how an event was supposed to play out.
Yes.
And that's where the trouble comes from.
Yes. Essentially, what happened was they were once monks. They were not touched by devilish blood. They were once a peaceful people, charged with the task of guarding a very important place. As I'm sure you now know, portal to the elemental plane of water. They were charged with the sacred duty by Calypso, and over time, though, for many, many centuries, these monks maintained this monastery and protected the portal. Eventually, they grew debased and decadent, as many do, and a rift began to form between the two. Before they were Amari and Amaru, they were once called Amaruka, protectors of the plumed serpent. They were charged with, like I said, protecting this portal and what lies on the other side of it, as well as protecting those who live on this plane from what lies on the other side of it. As you said, they disagreed about how best to protect the world, or, well, in some cases, their own interests, regarding this portal, and a split happened. And one individual, who would later become the founding member of the Amari, he did something terrible, and he released a very, very, very powerful beast onto this plane. Did much destruction, caused much destruction and death, and it was all that the people of this plane could do in order to seal this creature away, which, of course, you know. This creature's soul was divided and put into these gems. And unfortunately, due to the nature of the corruption of the Amari, their resources and material wealth was greater than that of the Amaru, and were victorious. Amon is the descendant of the bloodline of the Amaru. Teodalma, the descendant of the bloodline of the Amari. And so their struggle is much greater than the two entities themselves.
I would like to ask about the lich that we found.
In Grimbardur. What would you like to know about it?
So, like, it seemed like, I don't know, like it had a gem.
Yes, he was once a powerful wizard.
So, like, what, like, was he one of the...
He was one of them. Yes, he was one of those who fought to try to ultimately bind this entity into these stones. But over time, his possession of the stone over many centuries gave him a strange and unnaturally long life, and slowly corrupted and poisoned his mind, and made him lust for power, which you ultimately saw the result of.
Is he dead now?
Well,
Like fully?
You possess what kept him alive, do you not?
I didn't know.
Like, yes.
Skill issue. Sorry.
Yes, he's gone.
Okay.
You, the gem was, his life force was tied to the power of the gem. It was the only way he could survive for so many long centuries, being a mere human himself, originally.
Okay.
You wish to know more about the gems?
Yeah.
I like. Well, you brought that up earlier.
Yeah.
So she says, as far as the gemstones themselves, I can see that you have the majority of them. Well, not you personally. She put her on. Dear Chuck.
Yeah.
not you personally. I mean the lot of you. The group of you. You possess how many?
We have 4.
You have 4.
9.
She possesses 3. There are 2 remaining that have not been located.
What happened to the one that fell in the ocean?
You guys recovered it.
Okay, got it. I thought it was lost. For whatever reason, I thought like you were.
No, you guys recovered
get
it. Remember you found it in the pocket of the dude that had a polymorph ring?
Okay, got it.
That's right.
Because I just remember you diving into the water, or you. So one of you guys dived into the water after, and you and
You can only get one, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you only get one.
And a siren swam by and snagged it.
Yeah.
Guess who was the siren? Yeah. So
That parrot can clutch.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about that, I don't know if you've already said it, but would they need all 9 of them to summon?
Yes.
Or
well,
As
that
far
is
as we
where
know.
things get tricky. If one of these gems is destroyed, it will break the seal. It will break the seal and unleash this creature on whatever plane of existence these gems are on when that happens.
Do you know the process of destroying one?
There are very few items that exist that can destroy this, and only the most powerful of magic. You get the impression that the only magic spell that could be used to kill this, to destroy this, would be a wish spell. As far as items that can destroy these, there are only 3 things that could destroy this. The use of another gem. There is a sword that can destroy them.
Alright.
But that sword is not on this plane of existence.
Would it happen to be in the astral plane?
No. It exists on a demi-plane.
See, we have a friend that is on another plane.
Yes, I'm aware.
You know, if he was just like hoarding it, you know, they do those types of things.
They do. Unlikely.
Do be
This-
like that.
No, this sword is in possession of another entity.
On a
Though-
demi-plane?
The demi-plane, yes.
Hmm.
And the third item is actually
It's a horrible sword.
no.
You just fucking
The third item is a hammer.
hammer. Okay. Is that on this plane?
It is.
Okay. Do you
It
know
is.
where?
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
What course of action would you think Tiadama would? Because I'm assuming using another gem. Just can I roll just a straight ass intelligence check just to see if like I can cognitively like think of if this would actually work and just roll straight like intelligence.
Okay. See what would work.
Just like if I'm assuming, or if like, so like the idea would be like if you were to smash 2 gemstones, it would basically cause a nuclear reaction. Like, is that like the oh shit
No.
worst case
So
way?
no, you get the sense that in order to use one of the gemstones to destroy another gemstone, you would essentially have to use the gemstone, and I mean like bind yourself to the
Oh,
gemstone.
So, like, basically, the line of questioning going down is what would be the path of least resistance for Teodalma? Two, would it be collecting all of the gemstones and then just opening up the portal, or would it be
Destroying one.
destroying one, or binding it, or finding one of the items?
Her plan is to destroy a gemstone. But she waits for the right time. Her plan is to consume the creature and take its power.
So would it be like, would she go the binding route or the destruction route, and like using another gemstone to destroy?
She plans to use magic, which the foundations of are in that book you possess. And you get the sense that she's speaking about that that circle, that summoning circle that you were that was like basically, for lack of a more sophisticated way of saying it, under construction within that book that he was in the process of building, was kind of the groundwork. It's kind of the groundwork of of the spell that they're trying, basically the ritual they're trying to cast in order to consume the energy of this
Does she
creature.
have the spell? Does she have it, or does she need
I
this
do
book?
not know.
So if
I
we
know
like
she possesses this.
just throw that book in the fire,
First, no. Destroying that book will do you no good. But she says no. They plan to use an ancient spell similar to the one that was used to bind the creature in order to consume it and steal its power. And then with that power, she will have the strength to
So does she
to
need
rule
all that?
most of this land.
Does she need all that?
To destroy and to release the creature, no, but
To
the
consume?
location. So when she only need destroy one. However, they must all be within a vicinity, because where the largest amount of them are. So essentially, if let's say you have 5 of them, but she only has 4 and destroys one, the creature will be released nearest to you, where the most of its soul.
So if we spread them out like Dragon Balls.
I was thinking we
The
take one
creature
back
will
to-
appear.
In fragments?
No, the creature will appear at the one destroyed.
Take a few to Paladin.
Just release it on the planet.
Had a similar thought.
And you said the plane that they're all on. Go across different planes.
Okay. Do you have any questions for us?
So I imagine you still have more for me. Do any of the other of you have any more questions?
You came awful calm, aren't you worried?
My fate is not tied to the fate of this land.
I'm bored.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, I'm not
She
looking
says, she says, our fate is not tied to the fate of this land.
Who are?
Me and my sister, of course.
Okay, so it is a lady.
But she says, you possess 4, she possesses 3. There are 2 remaining that have yet to be found. That will be interesting.
Location of the hammer. Do you have it? Can you give it to us?
The location of the hammer.
Write that down.
The hammer exists within the walls of Grimbadur.
Fuck.
Weren't we gonna go back there anyway for something?
Yeah, we were, because the homie that made the wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She says the hammer exists within the walls of Grimbadur.
So like we were there. Like, is this another user error? Or did I just miss
Skill
it?
issue.
Skill
No, it is hidden.
Okay. Because we found 3 crypts.
Yes. It is hidden in another part.
I found one that was like
Deep,
fucking
much
useless.
much deeper than you
Everybody
would.
else found cool shit. I
As-
found like dead bodies or some dumb shit.
As you know, the dwarves who built that city, as you know, dwarves are are never quite satisfied to only dig so deep and must continually dig deeper. You barely scratched the surface of Grimbadur.
Okay.
Though the hammer is not needed to destroy a gem, there are other ways.
Yep.
Those are just the only. Those are the. That's the only. There's only the two items that can destroy. However, you can destroy them by casting them back into the elemental plane of water. Those kind of bindings cannot exist within the immense pressures of the ocean, and the water that exists within just the nature of that plane of existence itself. This checks out to you, Perry. What she's saying checks out. That the magic would not be able to survive the power of the magic, and not to mention the fact that if returned to the elemental plane of water, it will once again be with its own kind, giving you the impression that this thing is not a solitary creature. Now, she says the location of the other two skulls. I'm very excited to watch you this next bit and to see how you will go about acquiring these. One of these skulls is actually not far at all from here. And you've already been there. It exists deep, deep in the caverns in the unexplored parts of Zaxaroth.
Okay. And the other?
The other, and this is where she gets a big grin across her face. Sweet. Exists within the walls of Candlekeep.
Well, that's like so far.
Which wall?
Huh?
Which wall?
Plot twist: the monk at Candlekeep that we gave the goth chick drawing to is the.
The whole time.
He's like, titties. and stuff. That's his fucking shit.
So, but yeah, she
Like a
says it exists
necrophilia.
within the walls of Candlekeep.
Okay.
So can I get a quick insight? Make sure. Just tell me.
Absolutely.
It's 14.
You sense no deception.
Okay. I'll
I
ask.
was about to
Why
say,
hasn't your
use flash
sister?
of genius.
Have noticed that she's gotten uncomfortable with some of the topics.
Give you a +4 to that.
Somebody else can roll and we can just stack them.
Like,
Be like 3d4s.
what's the deal?
She just looks at you and says, "Dear child, I don't know that you could understand if I explained it to you."
I know I'm quite dumb.
Anybody else?
I didn't mean it that way. I don't think any of you could
I'm a
comprehend
big,
our.
strong boy.
I don't think any of you could fully comprehend our nature.
Okay.
I got big brain.
Big turtle brain.
Big turtle brain. Been around many moons.
I would like to ask about the dreams that I was having for a while. Of me like falling through a crack.
I was wondering if you were going to. I was wondering if you were going to ask. So that blue skin of yours is not by accident. You come from a entirely other plane of existence. And you have a. Interestingly enough, the lich that was defeated in Grimbadur, you have a history with. When he traveled through many planes of existences in search for magic to help him live a longer life. Um, and in doing so, laid waste to much of your plane of existence. But for some reason, instead of dying in the magical explosion, you were, lack of a better way to say it, ejected from that reality.
You know me.
And found your way here. And picked up touch of the, a little bit of the inherent nature of the plane multiple planes which you traveled through on your way to this one.
Because I always have like haunches of memories of war and stuff. So
It's probably the war that claimed the lives of everyone you knew.
I didn't know if it was like a future event or a past event because like
That's the funny thing about time.
I don't have a
It's
watch.
both in the past for you, but depending upon perspective, also in the future.
I don't understand.
I roll my eyes.
Instructions unclear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she says, yeah, quite special. Why do you think that you were able to use the magic of Calypso and pray to her and allow to be heard? Calypso is not the patron of orcs, generally speaking, dear child.
Oh
Well,
no.
maybe I was just buff enough to
Says,
beat all
no.
those mermaid things away.
You passed briefly through the elemental plane of water yourself. That is what left the effects upon you, and why you're so blue.
I would like to also ask about their old captain and what tormented him and why he had to go.
Oh yes, she says, the curse was simply that, a curse. Curse that was very, very powerful, and the only way to break that curse was to make a deal. He had to make a deal in order to save his life and pledge his life in servitude to the goddess in return for her healing. So it was quite the nasty piece of magic, not from this plane. That is evil magic from wherever he who watches comes from.
No questions, guys. No shit. Let's start asking about jars of dirt.
Is there anything else you wish to know?
What kind of power would Theodama inherit if she were to bind with one of these gems?
Terrible power. She already possesses, as you've seen, this has been demonstrated before all of you. She possesses immense power as it is, and immense influence over others. If she were to bind herself to one of these gems, it would increase her power threefold minimum.
Stronger than
Increase her
Paladin.
malice. Stronger than his influence on this plane of existence, yes. She would be very difficult to stop. But there is a great cost. If she does so, if she binds to one of these gems, then the only way to unbind is death. Hence why the gems are still embedded in the skulls of those who bound with them. Though the poor fools did not know the seriousness of their folly when they did so. But if she did so, then and destroyed a gem, it may very well destroy her.
If she was unbound or bound.
If she had bound herself, if she basically essentially if she had put one of the gems up to her head,
And then broke another.
if she broke another, it's very likely that it would destroy her.
What if you did it? I was actually just wondering, what if you did it the opposite way?
Destroyed the
so,
gem and binded.
so if you broke one of the gems and it breaks that seal, do all the other gems become worthless? Or do they still hold power?
No, they become, well, not worthless entirely. They're still gems,
Okay, yeah, right.
but otherwise, yes.
So it wouldn't hold the power of.
Right, because the
Okay.
creature's soul would once again be reunited with its other parts and be whole again.
I said to great evils happen this island. What do you know of it?
The influence of Piedalma near the well. The nature of her presence on this isle is poisonous. Nature of her presence on anything she touches is poisonous at this point because of the pact that she seems to have made with this entity, He Who Watches. And that's when she says, "Oh yes, you are a druid, sensitive to these things. It would take some time, but over time, as long as she's not allowed to return to the area, you could heal the damage done and return the well to its former beauty and nature and natural order."
I would like to ask about our island and the well that was there.
The Gimmerel Isles.
Yeah.
General obvious. And
Uh,
wasn't there a well there? You said.
Yeah, there was a well, but it was just a drinking well.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just like a freshwater drinking well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if it was like kind of the same, and like why our island was just like kind of almost perfectly set up, or like just is like the perfect place, but no one had ever explored it.
That isle has changed hands many times.
It was previous.
It was originally controlled by the Catherian Empire. So it was an outpost by the Catherian Empire before it was given to you, and before that it was part of some other kingdom. As you can tell by its design, it's obviously not. It was made by humans. It wasn't made by the elves. The elves being most likely embarrassed if anyone were to think that was their craftsmanship. So
I have a question. I'm going to pull out the map that I have, the world map, and I'm going to point to the location where there's the X. And I'm going to ask her. I know here in the not too far future, we're going to end up here. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find very much, if any, information on this location.
very little exists. That is the location of the portal. It is the location of the temple that was once guarded by the Amaruka. After the fall, after the creature was released, much of the structure on the surface of the island was destroyed in the ensuing carnage, but some of the structure beneath the surface still exists that leads down into the portal itself. The nature of the portal itself steers away many who would happen upon it by accident. Though if you know where it is, it can be found. Is there anything outside of this, like, is there anything other specifically that you would like to know about the island?
No, not really. I really just want to get a better idea of what we're walking into before we go there. Do you know if it is going to be heavily guarded or?
No, I can't imagine it would be. Teodalma can't be on the Isle too long. The gems call to go home, and when near the portal, they affect things around them to try to achieve that end, to go home, to be released. The gems want to be released. The creature within the gems wants to be released. No, I think your gems are quite happy. You take good care of them. But so I can't imagine that she would spend very much time on the Isle, if any at all, until she's ready to enact her plan. But very few ever find the Isle, let alone establish any kind of settlement or anything there to be guarded.
So I might have missed, but is the well on this island?
Yeah, the well's here, and then I asked about the hidden location that's on the map.
Yeah.
What else?
I have a quick question. What is the significance of the well here? Like, is your proximity to it a counterbalance?
She says, see, and you called yourself dumb.
I'm super dumb.
No, you're actually you're actually on the right track. The well provides fresh water and some minor healing to those on the Isle. And part of my presence here is to help keep the well, though my power fades and my time on this plane is coming to an end, and I will no longer be able to protect it.
Have you ever heard of a cottage with chicken legs?
Can't say that I have.
Insight.
You know what we're
Guidance.
talking about, Nick?
Bobby got this hook.
That's why I inspected the foundation. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Be 18 plus 8.
Yeah.
26.
Being truthful. I've never heard of a hut with chicken legs on it.
Good. Okay. Crisis averted. That's why I inspected the foundation.
That's
See if
what I
they're
thought you were
removed. I was
going
like,
for.
yeah, I was like, what type of tracks are those? I was like, does it ever move? Like, yeah.
It's like, damn. Yeah, is there anything that you guys have for?
I think I've asked all my questions. But Bezel,
Vezel, do you have anything for the Seeress?
No, not that I can think of.
I exhausted all of my questions. I'll start asking about like my trident, jar of dirt, things like that.
Yeah, she
I like
placates
it.
you like, she gives you a small little jar of dirt. Because you thrown it up like 4 times. She gives you a small jar of dirt. And she says,
I would bring up my trident. Like, I will like.
Wait a second.
Oh,
Oh, no, sorry, go ahead.
Like,
Just thinking out loud.
after the encounter with Calypso, if she could tell me a little bit more of the nature of like the weird state that I was in, like, and if it's controllable or if it's not, or if it's just something she's like, you're Superman today.
you have prayed and asked to become the champion of Calypso, and you are such. But that means you are at the whim of Calypso. And so
Strongest
when
boy.
you are her strongest boy, the goodest boy. But she says, when Calypso feels that she decides to bless you with that power, she will again.
Okay.
You're gonna full
But the
answer
sea
that
is-
question. 'Cause I might be able to help you with that.
So, but as you know, the sea is fickle.
I mean, yeah, I was just more of like, is it controllable? So it's just basically whenever.
No, you can't go into the Avatar state whenever you want.
You walk around and what's up, guys? Boy, girl. Just waves crashing on my cheeks and shit.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if she's not gonna answer about your tribe, I can tell you more about your tribe.
I was just more asking about like the nature of the like connection that I felt after that last
Yeah,
encounter.
no, you are. Yeah, she basically begins to explain to you guys that you're chosen by Calypso. That you've been basically given a great honor, and that Calypso does not want to see this creature once again released, because she doesn't want it to destroy and consume so much of the life that exists within the sea, which would weaken her, and also the potential that this creature could help to release others like it into this plane of existence.
Just
and destroy it and take it over.
like kind of out of game. Did we tie up Calico Jack's thing? Did we like fully tie it up? Or?
Yeah, he died. in
Passed,
battle.
yeah. You
Okay.
got. She says, as you kind of like,
Well, I was just asking.
maybe as his name crosses through your mind, she says, "Don't worry, your friend is. He's with Calypso. He is at peace. Though the ship lays broken at the bottom of the sea."
Is Davy Jones real?
Alright, buddy, there's
I have one good question, damn it.
I asked to see the jar of dirt for a minute. I wanna roll Arcana.
I like.
I'll give it back. What was that? Was it the lizard that you had before?
Oh, so Purdy and
Yeah.
her lizard that she gave me, and then I had to give to the dragon, and then get one that fucking yeah.
She you take the jar of dirt, you cast Arcana on it, and it is like one of the very few items in this entire place that's not magical. It's literally just a jar of dirt. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Got it. Is it like your forsaking or something?
No, it's actually dirt from like outside somewhere around the cottage.
She's gonna put a plant in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just gonna grow some
Oh,
mint,
the summer
bro.
time.
Yeah.
I hate it here.
So
I do have one more question for her, I think. If you were in our situation, would your priority be to obtain the remaining skulls or take out Teodolma?
An interesting question.
Says she's not super strong, but like she's still strong. She's not like finished with her plan. So if we just fucking full frontal.
Whoa. Man was in the military.
So,
No
Sorry,
pincer
shuffling
maneuver, just full frontal.
yeah.
I always catch her by surprise.
I don't think flashing her.
A full frontal
We're not
attack.
talking about Python here.
Yeah. The full Monty.
Yeah, the full Monty.
No, she says. So it's an interesting question. If it were me, I might destroy one of the gems and kill the creature before she can consume it. But
That requires getting
killing the
another gem.
creature,
Doesn't? Yeah, we only have 4.
to have to make sure that you have the
Here's a
majority.
question.
Yeah.
Well,
If we take the majority of the gemstones to another plane that
I
is
had that thought.
neutral and we destroy one of the gems, would it be summoned there since the concentration of them are there?
Plane wide. You're thinking like plane wide.
Well,
there's 5 more.
My thought was, so
That's what I'm saying. If we collect the other 2 and then she just
Oh,
has the
yeah.
3 and then take the
Yeah.
majority.
the goal
there.
of the creature, the creature wants to return to the elemental plane of water, correct? So what if we take the gems to the elemental plane of water and destroy them there?
So Sherry said that if we take them there, they're invalid, basically. They
No.
can't survive.
With that,
Well,
they
yeah,
no,
it
if
would.
we take them there, yeah,
It would automatically
yeah,
release
they'll only
them.
become invalid once the creature is released.
Okay.
If you take them to that isle, what they do is they call to they will start to release magic that will try to influence the people and things going on around them in order to reach the ultimate goal of once again returning to their plane of existence, or at least to be free.
I was thinking about taking it to the astral plane, us and Paladin duking it out with this. He's strongest there.
Does the creature have the ability to jump dimensions?
I
Or
mean,
plane? It's a good question.
It can travel between the planes of existence, mostly though between our plane and its own.
so if we took it to,
But
like, said
not-
the astral plane.
That
I mean,
is-
I'm sure Paladin.
that is if that is if the magic that is if the magic
Then
will
I'll
survive.
run.
The magic will survive. Yeah, moving from one plane to another.
So
The binding was made on this plane. of
Metamagical
existence.
weight of carrying them over. Got it.
well, we've already done that.
No, you guys, the first
Yeah,
thing
we
you
left
you
them in-
purposefully left
in
them
the chest behind.
behind. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, you purposely left them behind.
The metamagic, like the mass.
And then the second
yeah.
time you guys went,
Yeah.
they were already in the. You guys had already put them in
Yeah.
a safe at Zaxarov.
Okay. Would you like some wine?
Oh well,
Or your sister.
Yeah, or your sister?
certainly that would be very kind of you.
I would pull out like my little personal flask of the stuff, and I'd like, do you have a glass, or do you want to
Yeah,
swig?
she just like she quickly in 2 small like fired clay, like almost like samkes that cups.
I pour in the wine that we delivered to Paladin.
Okay, yeah. So she 2 appear, and then as she goes to grab one for herself, the other disappears, and you see it reappear in the decrepit hand, sitting in the leather chair. And for the first time, you see it do something other than grip the arm of the chair as it slowly raises the drink towards its lips. But she sips from it, and she says, "Tastes like dragons," and sets it back down. And she says, she kind of like she's trying to get the taste out of her mouth. She doesn't like it.
I pull the flask.
She's like, nothing.
Paladin.
Remember, yeah, you may not have this information, but you do. Faye. So you get the sense that the entities inside this building were Faye. And so she may not have quite the same taste as a dragon would have. Dragons are not Fae, and Fae generally don't like dragons very much. Because they're their only real competition over the long haul, really, besides like gods and stuff.
Aren't I half Fae being a halfling?
Do what?
I said, aren't I half Fae being a halfling?
That's an interesting question. I don't know if they consider halfling to be part Fae in 5e. I don't. That's an excellent question. I don't know.
I think their own little race of just like mixture between human, like a evolution.
Yeah, I think they're closer to dwarves than
Yeah.
they are to elves.
Or fae.
Because elves are like fey touched kind of mortals. And there are like true fey elementals and stuff like that that exist outside of.
No, apparently we just in 5e we just look similar. There's no real relation.
Yeah.
I know the halflings have an affinity more for like meta magic and stuff.
Yeah.
Wild magic.
Right. Is there anything else that?
Any questions about yourselves? I ask questions about me.
That's okay, buddy. You like your job?
Are the gyms happy?
Yes. Your crew is very well paid and well taken care of. And I mean, the renown alone.
The Blacktooth Grin hasn't made it back yet, right? Okay. I want to ask her about them. Can she see how they're doing? Whether or not it was successful?
She says, the Blacktooth Grin now sails back towards Zaxxaroth. I can't say that it was necessarily the success that you were hoping for.
Alright.
But I can say that the ship and crew are whole.
What's going on with that one again?
You guys had sent Jimmy the Great, right?
Mhm.
Oh,
I think.
Or Jim with a G. It was either Jim with a G or Jim.
It was Jim with a G and Zimbabwe, I think.
Yeah, it was Jim with the G and Zimbabwe with the Blacktooth Grin down to try to pretend with the ring of polymorph to try to pretend to be
Jackal.
to try to pretend to be Jackal and put out a false message.
Well, okay.
Are there any more traitors among us?
Ooh.
That's not a good question.
Interesting question. That remains to be seen.
Trying to target everyone
But
on the
it
ship.
but it depends on what you mean by traitor.
Are they loyal?
Anybody working against our end goal?
No.
They're not necessarily loyal to.
There are some among you that have loyalties that are more to others that are more powerful than their loyalties to you. Yes.
That's fine, as long as they're not working against us.
No, they're not actively working against you. No.
Okay.
Are any of those loyalties to enemies of ours?
No.
Well, I think we need to kill Teodalma.
Full frontal.
Yeah.
Full frontal movement.
She's only going to get stronger.
Yeah. So we could go about this a few different ways. We could send our Jimmy the Great and Jim with a G to go hunt out the other two gemstones if we trust them. We could go send those two out to hunt out the other two gemstones and divide and conquer, and then us go and fucking full frontal and do like a full frontal slack pincer.
We're leaving Eric out of the map.
Yeah.
I don't know if the gyms could get.
You
the
see me
gyms.
just over there on the wall, just connecting yarn and like,
Yeah.
see if you do this and this.
No, we call it Operation Trident. They go out in 2 different
Oh, man.
Okay, yeah.
I'm here for it.
As soon as he said try it, I was like, oh shit. What is the best way to locally locate James and or Teodalma? Because within the walls, it's not. We can't just tear down
Do
Candlekeep.
you have any of the gems on us?
No, they're all in the safe at Zaxxaroth.
I could say you have much to barter. If you were to journey to Candlekeep. As far as Zaxoroth,
While we're here, should we go
Huh.
and visit the well? While we're here.
can if you like. But as far as the one that dwells deep beneath Zaxoroth, that one would likely be more difficult to acquire than the one at Candlekeep. But you see, she's getting a little bit of pleasure out of she's almost like holding back a little bit of laughter, thinking about the when she speaks about the skull beneath the skull that's located beneath Zaxoroth.
So is there a quick? Because Candlekeep is far away.
Yeah.
Is there a quicker way to get us there besides like teleportation spell, like
We do that.
But like, is there a quick? Because like that's like we have sailed for months to get even to where we are, and we'd have to go back through the smoke mist place with all the sirens.
I mean, we could probably.
You know, it's just like, is there a quicker way from here? Because like,
Ebenezer might be able to help us.
huh?
Ebenezer might be able to help us.
But it just sounds
Yeah,
like
you guys could talk to Ebenezer flying ship style.
If you want to stay with the ship, I can't help you. But if you're okay to leave the ship, I can.
Yeah, I just didn't like. What is the quickest way to get there besides sailing?
Yeah, I mean it would probably be some kind of magical means.
But
of
like,
getting
we only
there.
have what? Like you're the only one with transportation spells, and you only have plane shift.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I was.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we don't have
We
any, like,
can sort of. We can achieve that by taking a long rest and spending the night with Paladin.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, that's what I was saying. Like, what would be the quickest way to get there? Would Ebenezer be our best bet, or is there a way that? That was the question. Because like, we don't have the means.
If
of-
possible, I want to avoid plane shift because we're just going to
Yeah.
lose more time.
Exactly. That's I want to avoid that. So like, that. What is the quickest way? We can turn ourselves into
I'll
birds, but
I'll
Well-
say this. I will say this about the plane shift and the time dilation. You know that when you go to Paladin's plane of
we're gonna try a
existence,
new
that there
plane?
is a time delay.
But that's just
That's
the
a risk.
unknown.
That's
That's
a risk, yeah.
Homeboy's fun with this.
Wait,
That's
could
my
we-
whole job.
Could we?
here.
Could we? Like, so, what plane is Calypso?
The water plane.
Plane of water.
Okay.
That's
Could we? How? When we were there, how much time did we? That was a
We don't
funny-
know because we were in that library. Like there wasn't a way to know.
I think
No,
it wasn't
so,
that much. Maybe
yeah,
like
no,
twice as fast
you guys
as
Can I
spent
pray to Calypso
basically
and
an
ask?
entire day with Calypso and all that kind of stuff, and only moments passed by.
That's what I'm saying. Like, can I ask Calypso?
Okay, so we did know that it was only just. Like,
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if we
you guys-
travel
you got
through
back-
the plane of water, then
Because remember when you guys woke back up from that dream-like state, you guys woke up like as water was like splashing around
Yeah.
you.
That's
like,
right.
You're
Okay.
just landing immediately back, and like the book that Calico Jack had grabbed, like had just hit the floor. Like you guys, like it was instantaneous.
and we were there for a grip. So
Yeah.
that would be another plane that we know of.
Can you sleep in that plane?
I don't need to sleep anymore.
Well, I mean, I just mean us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I don't need to sleep anymore ever.
Oh, I guess I'd have to see what wild shape looks like, but I mean, can everybody sleep underwater?
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, you're aquatic. You're semi-aquatic. You're aquatic.
I have water breathing also.
You're
But I
not.
could either
He's
a
not.
wild shape, and I don't know.
Wait.
Zezel's not.
Yeah, so I've got
Yeah.
gifts of
I don't
depth.
know that
I
I
can
can.
breathe underwater, and I gain.
I can cast water breathing on everyone.
I was about okay because
Dude, you're.
I have
freaking.
I know, but it only has hold breath, which only
I
lasts
can
an hour.
cast. I can cast water breathing
You
without
are
extending the
amphibious,
spell
not
slot.
fully aquatic.
That's
Yeah.
24 hours.
Yeah, so I can. I have gifts of the depth. I can breathe underwater on my own, and then I can cast water breathing without expending the spell slot. And then I don't ever need to sleep and can't be forced to sleep by any means by aspect of the moon. And I gain the benefits of a long rest while doing light activity.
Okay.
So I don't need to sleep under.
Yeah, you guys would probably be just fine under the water.
Yo, yeah. Oh yeah, I got it.
What is this class?
So we'd have to stay there for a while.
Yeah, I'm trying to do my best of a Brandon Mulligan and fucking get the best bang for my buck when it
Right.
came to shit.
So is that our plan, guys?
Yeah, I mean that would be the quickest way. I feel.
Sure.
We're going to Candlekeep.
Can I turn around and address her sister?
You can try.
Well, I've been talking shit ton. I'll ask her if she thinks that's the best way.
You
Can I like
when
go
you
and sit next to her in the chair?
you get up
How much room
and
is in
you
the
walk
chair?
over. You get up and you walk over, and the rest of you don't see this because you're focused on walking over there. But the rest of you see Madame Inanna like close her eyes and like bow her head a little bit, and kind of cringe. And you go over there and you fucking like walk in, kind of sit down. You kind of like turn towards her, and
I would like
You-
bow before I sit.
yeah, she makes no move or anything. You bow and you come around and you sit, and she turns this like horrific, like skeletal visage, and like as the hood turns towards you, you see this like, I
How much
mean,
psychic damage should I take?
yeah, like it's like
We'll get
fucking for the rest of your days. Anytime you need to get rid of a boner, that face immediately for the rest of your day.
Definitely a skill.
So,
Okay.
but she turns to you and in this like gravelly, like horrific, nasty sounding voice is like, dare approach, and just looks at you like fucking.
I thought it was unpolite not to include you.
She just kind of like looks at you and said, like, gives you this if a corpse faced elf could give you a dirty look, it gives you a like get the fuck out of my presence look. And as you kind of like, how are you gonna respond to that?
So she gives me a dirty look. I will just smile,
Mhm.
and I'll be like, "All right, thank you for your time."
And
And I'll be like,
she says, as you kind of do this, Madame Inanna looks at you and says,
"Oh, can I roll
Do a-
Constitution to see if I like fucking am like not or like should I roll counter like intimidation see if I'm intimidated by her or something like?"
no, I would say that, I'm not saying like,
Or like, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I would say like,
Would I be able to hold composure and smile in the face of this woman? Like, would that be a Constitution check?
that would, you know what, let me see your
I
I
mean,
guess
so
that,
it's not fully finished because I didn't put it on the first page, but
let me see your
you know how to navigate it.
No, not really.
Okay,
I'll look. I
so-
see. Yes, get your passive.
So if you click this and then your skills,
charisma.
charisma. Okay.
Yeah.
Just a charisma saving throw? Or
Yes.
Okay. Yes, got it. Charisma saving throw. So
Thank
saving throw is like +7. Constitution. Alright, so I got a 14.
Yeah, 14. Yeah, that's gonna be
No.
my first dice roll of the game. Don't worry, it's not gonna be a lot.
We've done it now.
Oh, we just use the.
Yeah, you can use the pressure. Yeah, I was just trying to get to where Eric can see the where it's
Oh.
going. Who's that? One psychic damage. But no, you're not able to maintain composure as you kind of like go pale as fuck and make the one psychic damage as she looks at you.
I get
as you
Bell's palsy and I smile with half my face.
yeah. Exactly. So when she says, Inanna says, "Forgive my sister. It's not her season."
Okay. Is there anything that I have on my person that she would take as a gift?
Ooh. Nana?
No.
Oh.
Like as a like a
You after that look, you don't think that there's anything you could do besides get as far away from here as possible that would make her happy.
dab her up.
It's, yeah.
You're
Hold the rest of the one. Do
Are you really trying to like offer a hand to shake a hand or something like that? Okay. As you go to like do this, Manny Man is like, no, do not touch her, please. Do not. And you kind of like stop as you. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Finger guns. Walk away.
Yeah, finger guns and walk away. Yeah.
Do it.
And she's like,
She finger guns me back.
no, she doesn't.
I slowly turn the map.
She just like gives you this like bless your heart look. And she says like like a southern belle, kind of like
Bless
grandma.
your heart.
Oh, bless your heart, child. Kind
Okay,
of
out
like,
of good, all right?
Yeah. She says, well, unfortunately, I must. I think my sister needs to rest. Quite an eventful day. So, unless there's anything else that you need, I'm gonna have to ask you guys to leave so that way we can retire for the evening.
Yeah, I want to ask her what the little like orb, but doesn't look like an orb to us thing is, and if I can touch it.
She says, sure. It holds it like it like hovers up off the table and into her hand, and she extends her hand out.
Okay, when I do this, can I cast identify?
You can certainly try.
Okay.
Okay, so you touch it, and immediately, like, as soon as your fingertips, like,
I think I fucked up.
you like you're pulled into it immediately, like, shoo, and you're like, just like all you guys see is for the briefest moment, you see a little bit of a sliver, of almost like a sparkle around it, and then back to black, and he's just gone. Within about, she smiles and does this. She goes, and shakes it. she shakes it, and then she just kind of puts it back out like this. And then the next thing you know, Belrin's like back out there with his hand out.
Oh, I just figured a shell would pop out like a fucking Mario.
While you're inside of this, immediately, like, you just feel like touching, like, almost like cold glass as you touch it, and then, like, the next thing you know, you're just falling in pitch darkness.
Okay.
And then you kind of like land on something. You're not sure what, but it's completely pitch. You can't see anything. Like, you can't see your hands or anything. And then all of a sudden, you're just like the most savage and horrific earthquake of all time. You're just rattled, and like you come like, I imagine like inside of it, imagine you're like withdrawn into your shell. You're just like spinning around like a fucking like a turtle shell, yeah. And then you're deposited back out, and you're just kind of like left back into the chair, absolutely regretting.
Are you in your shell?
Like, absolutely. Yeah, he's like sucked up into a shell, absolutely regretting.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect timing. So you just get shaken, not stirred, and deposited back out, otherwise unchanged, unharmed. No damage or anything, just scared shitless.
Does she then answer my initial question of what it is?
No, she doesn't answer. She just says, tricks of the trade, dear.
Okay, with identify, was I able for the momentary touch or the touch of being inside inside of it, was I able to identify anything about it?
No, nothing at all about it. It just to you, it just felt like a bowl of glass. It was completely like.
What level is that at?
Actually, let me read identify.
Yeah, because I've got it at level.
Oh yes.
It's a first level divination, but you choose one object that you must touch throughout the casting of the spell, and it's instantaneous.
Instantaneous.
Yeah. If it is a magic item or some other magic imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement to use, and how many charges it has. If you learn, you learn whether any spells are affecting the item and what they are. If the item is created by a spell, you learn which spell created it. And then you can also use it to touch a creature if you want to find out if they have any spells on them.
Don't touch.
So yeah, it is a. It's
Don't touch the old man.
Yeah.
It's actually so when you cast Identify on it in an instantaneous touch, it is actually just a ball of glass. I'll say this: this conversation hasn't really been going on for that long. What's the duration on detect magic? 10 minutes. Okay, I'll say that within this conversation that you guys have been having, it's been within 10 minutes. Your detect magic is still up. You, Perry, realize as all this is going on that everything that just happened was an illusion. He never left his chair. He never went into the orb. It was all an illusion that she cast as he touched it instantaneously. It is actually just the glass
I was
orb.
gonna say, wouldn't he notice that from Detect Magic when we walked in and she pulled it out?
So yeah, I mean, he would have. But like I said, there was so much going on, and he never really focused in on the orb itself. So yeah, it was just an illusion that she cast in the moment. You never went inside of it. You never really got shaken up. You just felt like you were. It was all
So I
just
got
illusion.
mindfucked.
Yeah. Yeah, you got Chris Angel, bro. Yeah, you got Chris Angel. So.
What was that silver ball that we saw around just like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Fushigi. Fushigi, yeah.
So yeah, it was all just an illusion she cast.
Sweet. Sweet.
So yeah, when she cast it, like you were the only one that kind of saw through it because you immediately noticed the casting of the illusion spell that she did. So yeah, if there's nothing else if there's nothing else that you guys have for Madame Inanna.
You know, that's probably not as dumb as the original thing I was going to do before we walked in.
What were you gonna do before you walked in?
I was going to cast
Fireball. Fireball.
I don't even know how to pronounce this. Mordincan's. Mordenkainen's faithful hound.
Oh.
And I was going to leave him outside.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I feel like that would have been insulting.
maybe.
Yeah.
So we need to get to Candlekeep.
Okay. So after you guys leave Madame Inanna, say your goodbyes, all of that kind of stuff.
We head over to the well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you guys want to go meet up with the gyms that are trying to procure? Yeah, your
Or-
crew members
Or do we
first.
want to hit the well and just go
Well,
out?
what do you want to see in the
I don't know. I just like maybe
There's evil afoot there.
What I-
like like that's what I'm saying. Like you could get a better understanding
Yeah,
of it if
so
you're
I
standing
guess
in the ground.
What I have been able to was the well within the 3 mile radius.
No, we asked that. The
Oh,
edge of
the
it.
evil presence, but if the well's the source of it,
Yeah.
So I thought you said 300 feet, not 3 miles.
So 3 mile radius, but only 300 feet below underground shaft.
Oh,
You
okay.
had it.
Sorry, my bad.
You
Okay,
explained
so
it right
yes,
the first
so yes, then yes, you did get that the source of evil is coming from the well.
time.
So
Yeah, I just wanted to like
almost the
scope
well,
it out.
the well's been poisoned, so to speak, kind of.
Good. I'm just saying we run the chance of running into Teodalma there.
That's fine.
Okay.
Full
I'm
frontal.
just-
ready to
I'm
fucking go
just
down.
saying.
Full frontal.
Are we ready for
The
full
cloak is
frontal?
ready to
Operation
go.
Trident is afoot.
I'm gonna need some fluffing before we go.
That's
So,
fine.
Yeah, you guys leave Madamina behind.
Commodore?
Goodbyes. Are you guys making your way to the well first, or are you guys gonna make your way to the
So,
crew, back to the ship to go meet up with the crew?
If he could message crew at least, and then we
There's a
make our way
distance.
120.
It's 120 feet or something like
Yeah.
that.
Even with like, if you did an extended spell, that'd only be 240. Yeah.
Okay.
Or yeah, that's.
Well, while you guys think about it, I'm gonna pop out. It's 1 o'clock. What we got? Your things at 3:30. 3:30.
So all I need to do is, I don't know if we're all riding together again, but I do need to go home before I go.
Yeah. So
Also
So,
because I'm
you
gonna
gotta
dress
be-
goofy as fuck.
yeah. So you probably got to be home by like I'd say 2:30. Give you an hour to get dressed, do whatever you gotta do, and then get there.
Yeah, be home between 2 to 2:30.
So you want to be done by probably should be done by 2. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna pop out a quick break. If anybody's got to pee or anything else like that, now's your chance. I'm just gonna text Jenny, let her know kind of what's going on. Timing, because she was like basically like one of those things where she was like, if you're not going to you're only going to be able to come home for like an hour between this and going to your thing,
Yeah.
like just don't come home because Jack will get pissed off because I come home and then he'll want to play and everything else like that, and I'll have to just leave again. He'll get mad.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. I
So-
wasn't sure about you needing to go home, and I wasn't sure with the puppies about you needing to go
I
home.
fed them and stuff. I mean, I can go by and feed them, but
Right.
they've got a slew of puppy pets.
Let's go and start walking toward the well, I guess.
You guys are gonna go towards the well first?
That's fine, yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, you guys. It takes I don't know, maybe an hour of kind of hiking through some shit. Having to hack your way through a little bit, not too much. Obviously, to not disturb the nature too much more than you have to, but to kind of fight your way through the brush and kind of go off trail using Venkin's ability to sense the evil that's coming from this well to find it. Before eventually you come upon what should be a very, very beautiful and serene place, but for almost, I would say, like 100 yards in every direction of this well is just dead. Nothing is growing. It's just, everything. All of the trees are dead. There's nothing green on any of them. Just almost like slowly starting to rot trunks of trees with no foliage and cover. You see there's light shining through them now. It's not as dark in this area as it was because it's nearing about maybe midday. And this well, you get the sense that this well, as you approach, it's quite a large well actually. It's the opening of it's 10 feet in diameter. It's a stone well that's maybe about chest height. These cobbled stones piled together, and there's a bit of a kind of a contraption that goes up over top of it where you can lower buckets and things below. And you get the sense that what this place should be is almost like a natural spring of like some coming from a source of water deep within the island that should have some very, very, very minor healing properties to it, but has been poisoned by Teodama, and now the water is no longer safe to drink for those who dwell on the island.
And how would I...
Why did she poison?
Yeah.
I guess does the... First off, does the same spell I used to walk over tell us anything about the poison? Or what it might be?
So it's a curse. You get the sense that there is influence from one other plane of existence. You feel influence from the 9 hells.
Okay.
you from one of the deepest layers of the Nine Hells, and you feel that there's some token that she's dropped down into the well that is the source of this power. That is that is like this evil magic is tethered to.
Are you able to tell how deep the well is?
Yeah, it's very deep. So it is.
Is it
deeper
deeper?
than 300 feet.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay. So I was almost saying, I don't know how we would
So
do the poison damage, but we can
if
control
I-
water to swim down there.
you said it's 10 feet by 10 feet, right? 10
well,
like it's a
Oh, 10-foot diameter.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if I cast magic circle to be a 10-foot radius circle and a 20-foot tall cylinder, I can choose to block out like any sort of
Put it in a bottle.
Would that at least help cure the land
So
and stop the spread?
So no. So essentially, like this token that she has dropped into this well that is poisoning it, fell all the way down into the reservoir of fresh water that is deep within the island, and basically everything that's being the stuff that's being fed from this groundwater is now being poisoned as a result.
I was just trying to think of it.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying, but yeah, you'd have to build a cylinder that would be big enough to encapsulate not only the entirety of the shaft of the well, which at 10-foot diameter and over 300 feet deep, down into whatever volume of water is stored beneath the ground as groundwater.
What's the duration on magic circle?
It's only an hour, but I was just gonna try and experiment with it if it was even like a feasible idea.
Well,
Can you like? Is there any animals with?
Nothing that continues to live. There are
okay, so
but you get since there was one, so there things in it.
Because I can elect to operate the magic in a reverse direction. So, instead of protecting the outside, I can like contain the inside. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like you're putting it in a bottle.
Yeah, that's what I was trying.
If you could get the cylinder all the way to the very, very bottom.
Okay.
The range on it.
Yeah, what's the range of the spell?
I mean,
would you be able to center it on something on somebody's person and like it?
I caught.
so range 10 foot, 10 feet. Yeah.
So yeah, it would once
Okay.
it left your range and stuff, it would spell it.
I was just trying to think.
No, it's a good idea, but
Okay.
All right. What if I conjured a water elemental?
Well,
Sends it down there.
you could attempt that.
And they're resistant to poison.
I don't know. That's a good
is
question.
there a certain range that you're able to control it from, though?
I think it's indefinite as long as I keep concentration. Make sure.
My thought was if we can find a way to get that token in this Lich's spell book is remove curse. I wonder if I can try and cast it. If magic circle can keep the poison damage off of me, can I do that?
Let me look at this.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
Cast it on me, I'll swim down there, grab it, and remove curse.
But like, see, the thing is its range is only 10 foot.
That's what I'm saying. Like cast it on like my medallion or something. That will it?
So no, it's you create a 10-foot radius, 20-foot tall cylinder of magical energy centered on a point on the ground that you can see
One on the ground. Okay.
yeah, within range. So that's why I was thinking you said 10 foot, and I was like, dude, I could fucking just.
Okay.
I was just trying to like.
I got you.
This was a spell that I had originally picked up to like help us in our final battle and just us all cluster and as like a last ditch, like, hey,
Shit.
on me.
Yeah. The pain of the picture.
Yeah.
But it only works on attacks, not on like area effects and stuff.
So there's a initial casting of 90 feet, but the spell does not distinguish a distance, only for an hour.
So you can summon it within 90 feet of you.
But it
But like
does
how
not
far
have a
can you
range it
control
can go.
What is that?
What's the conjure elemental?
Oh, conjure elemental. Okay, yeah. So Yeah, you can conjure an elemental if you want and send it down there with a task to try to retrieve
Sure.
this.
I don't know how it would find it, but
Sense bad juju.
yeah, we'll just do that. What he said.
Okay. So you
You can give us simple commands, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Is anybody immune to poison?
The elemental is.
Might.
But
The elemental definitely is, but I'm.
Wild shape into something poisonous. That way you're immune to poison.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah. Could be something that also can
Little
swim,
toad.
but
I mean, I could.
the only problem I see with that is he mentioned it's in the reservoirs too small to fit through. So something small, but I guess conjure elemental is gonna be the best thing for now. Try
Try
that.
it, yeah.
okay.
So yeah, we'll do that.
So you conjure a water elemental, and you instruct it to try to go down there and find whatever is poisoning the well.
And bring it back up. Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and roll. An intelligence check for this water elemental, which gets a -3.
Is that just a what am I rolling for? Just
Just
all?
just an intelligence
Oh,
check.
that'd be an 8.
8. That's with the -3.
No, the elemental's intelligence.
Yeah, the elemental's intelligence.
So that'd be a 4.
Okay.
4. Okay.
Thank
Yeah, it goes down the well. Yeah, it goes down the well. And yeah, you guys kind of wait around for a little while. Do you have any? Is there anything that specifies within that what like your ability to communicate with this thing?
The elemental is friendly to you, and friendly roll initiative, which has its own turns. It obeys any verbal commands you issue it to you, no action required. And it just says if you don't issue any, it'll just stand guard.
Gotcha.
So it'll obey any verbal commands.
Okay. All right. So it goes down. I'll say it spends some time messing around down there. Maybe 5-10 minutes messing around down there, and it comes up and like with a rock and drops a rock out of the hole, and
Oh, sweet.
it's like kind of
It's obviously not the token.
yeah, it's not the token.
Cool.
And so you tell it go back down there, try to find something else. Okay, go ahead and roll another intelligence check for me. Let's see if something like this time.
You said -3.
Yeah, 10. Okay, 10's an average. All right, so this time
What are we doing?
it goes.
Yes.
It swims down, and this time you hear it swimming back up. Like you sense it swimming back up much faster than it did last time, and it comes flying out of this well, writhing in pain. But clenched within its grasp is a small little like chip of like black stone of some kind, and it kind of like it's like writhing in pain, and it lets go of this little black chip, and it falls and lands on the ground. And you see that like as it was holding it, like the water was boiling, like the water within its hand was like boiling, and as it drops it on the ground, the what little like dead dry grass is on the ground where it falls begins to smolder smoke.
This is where one of you gets the bottle out. That bottle.
I can.
Unless homeboy just picked up a piece of lava coming out of the fissure.
No, you guys immediately sense the evil coming off
Oh,
of this
okay.
thing, like very much so. Sense the evil coming off.
So I
of
can
this.
cast the magic circle on it. Like I can do that. But I think I am going to just try. And
What
then
if we
we
just-
blast.
Or we just put it in a bottle and keep it.
I was gonna say, how big is it, and can it be
It's like a
contained by
piece of
something?
D20. What are you saying?
Yeah, it's right about it's a chip of stone right roughly about the size of a D20. Yeah. That's about accurate.
Do we want to try and keep it? I'm not fucking picking that goddamn thing up.
I'll try to scoop it in the little glass bottle.
Okay. So you're trying to use like a glass bottle of some kind or something to scoop it up. Yeah, you guys very gingerly. All right, Eric puts it in the jar of dirt.
You put it with the. You literally kill the fertilizer.
Yeah. So yeah, you scoop up the you scoop it up in a jar of dirt and close and close the lid over top of it. And like as this happens, you already like as this thing is like kind of like closed off and from like the natural world around it, you all already start to kind of like you feel the evil like leaving the presence of like the well itself. Now everything's still dead and it's going to take time to regrow, but you feel the influence of it is no longer affecting us well, and it's no longer poisoning whatever So this water now actually has some very minor healing properties.
Okay. I wish I could cast magic circle around the well and leave it indefinitely and block out the undead and stuff like that. But it's only for
So, but yeah, you're able to. That's a pretty
Damn, if I had
ingenious way of going about it using the water elemental. So you were able to remove this thing, but now you have this small, massively cursed rock in this glass. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, yeah. Natural 20. So, okay. All right. So as you take
All right.
the glass,
Okay. All right.
no, I had a way I was gonna do this, but with that nat 20 gives me a slightly different way I'm gonna do it. As you take the jar of dirt, and you begin to inspect it, and you turning it around and stuff like that, looking at it, you get this like. Okay, so think of it in the sense of like in Lord of the Rings, where Pippin grabs that fucking orb thing and he sees like the Eye of Sauron kind of thing. You almost have a moment like that, but you see Tia Dalma, and you see her flying with bat's wings towards, like you see like her flying, and there's like the sky looks like it's like red with fire, but it's almost like at sunset kind of thing. But like kind of as she's flying, you see her, and then like your vision pans for just a moment, and beneath her you see the walls of Candlekeep, and the vision's gone. So
Fuck.
it's there.
Well, I'm up, boys.
To the ships.
Nah, we're in fucking plane ship right here.
Oh yeah.
We just have to spend a night.
Yeah, but it won't be that long, and we're still gonna go talk to the other guys.
But like, I'm going to see her flying towards Candlekeep though.
Yeah.
Yes, you have no idea. You have no idea
Has it happened?
when that happened. Has it already happened? Was that in the past that he saw? Was that the future that he saw? He has no
I
idea.
mean, sure,
Uh,
but the
I
information
need to go
provided,
back
I
to the hut and ask for some time seeds because I need to know more about this time thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm actually just gonna.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's like 2 plates, so if you guys want one down there, just take it.
Oh, it's been forever since I had pizza rolls.
I know, right?
It's one of Al's favorite foods.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to go to Candlekeep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess we go try to catch up with the crew and let them know that we're bailing on them.
So you guys,
Do we have to? It'll only be moments that we're gonna plane shift.
So yeah, but we're gonna be in Candlekeep for a minute.
I mean, they didn't know how long we were going to be gone in the first place.
All right, that's fine. Yeah. Sure. All right.
And the way I see it, like,
we all
the
stand-
longer they're there, the longer they're going to be able to recruit.
Yeah.
So you guys are gonna try to plane shift to the elemental plane of water.
Yeah, before we do that,
I was
Did
just
I'll cast water breathing on him.
you can cast it on up to 10 people.
Oh, well, I can cast it on everybody.
yeah, because everybody needs it. Gotcha. So
Is that all you
I was gonna say, when you guys are trying to plane shift, do you have a specific location? in
No,
mind?
that's we're about to do the
Calypso's Temple.
Yeah, Calypso's
That's what I was just about to
Yeah,
ask. If you
Calypso's
guys were
Temple,
gonna
where
try
we've
to go
been
for it.
before.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I know it has to be somewhere you're familiar with or you've been before. So we'll stand in a circle, hold hands.
You say, all right,
Yeah.
you're in the elemental plane about it. Everybody get ready to fight the big bad. We're doing it now.
What?
I said, oh boy, I hate this part. It's gonna be even worse now because I've seen it from the other side.
And you know.
I know.
I imagine plane shifting to the elemental plane of water is like we just get sucked into a toilet bowl.
No.
Carry water.
So
Yeah.
Molly's coming with us.
Yeah.
No.
Unless we can leave her to go join the group.
It's up to you guys.
I mean, if you wanted to go by herself.
That's what I'm
What's
saying.
up to Molly?
Yeah, that's up to Molly.
What did Molly say?
Molly is like, I mean, I'll go back to the crew if you want me to, but I can't lie. I would like to see Calypso's temple.
Fair enough.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Hop in the
Come
toilet.
on then.
Yeah. Hop in the toilet. So yeah, you guys do the thing. You guys stand around, hold hands.
Wait, where are we at on the equator? Does it spin this way or this way?
Who says below? Maybe it's like a ring and it like morphs like around that way.
True. Yeah, you never know.
Or are we legit at the equator?
yeah, it's just
Could be flat. We're just like
Oh yeah.
yeah, could be. You never
I
know.
was asking.
So, I mean, technically, if you look at it as a globe,
Oh, the
Well, flat Earth theory. Yeah.
this is not flat Faerun theory doesn't exist. So I guess if this would be
What is
like,
the water carbonated?
is the water carbonated?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's more than 70% water,
No.
so it's flat.
You would technically be north
It's not
of the
carbonated.
Yeah, you guys, because of your affinity to Calypso and being chosen by Calypso and having visited this place before, all except Belrin, you guys score a direct hit and find yourselves, all of you, in a very familiar place besides Belrin, once again in this circular cavern that looks like it's been eroded out of the rock in like almost like a swirling vortex, and with the altar and everything, and as you guys coalesce back in, and Zezel pukes probably.
Yep.
You guys see,
Come and start eating.
the little fish. You guys see the little the young sea elf, that girl that you met last time. Just kind of immediately back at finger guns is like, and she kind of is happy to see you guys. And she's like, welcome back. I was hoping you guys would have come back sooner, but I'm glad you're here now. What can I do for you? What are you here for? Is everything all right? Huh? And
So
yeah.
he's the only one to stay awake. So
Yeah.
we're gonna immediately start our long rest.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Well,
I would like a tour because I can take a long rest while doing night activities. So
Okay, yeah,
I want
so-
a tour of Calypso's.
So yeah, well, you guys start to kind of take your rest and everything else like that. Find a place to get comfortable. You begin to follow her around as she just goes around and shows you cool things. She's like, oh, look at this little. Like, she's like showing you little features in the rock that she likes, that she thinks are pretty, because like you see like little veins like There's one spot where you see like a really cool like vein of gold that's running through the rock and stuff. There's all kinds of cool stuff. She goes showing you around. She shows you the altar, and she teaches you a prayer to Calypso that she uses and stuff like that. And yeah, you guys just kind of this is all very familiar for most of you. And you guys spend your
As I'm like going, I'm like, fucking, I tried it.
carving your name. Yeah. So yeah, you guys you take your long rest, and
I would like to
wake up to find Rook walking around the room, fiddling with shit.
just doing laps. I would like to leave an offering on the altar of some of the wine.
Okay.
As
Very cool. Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know, just like we were here passing through, here's an offering.
Absolutely. Yeah, I will say
And
this.
also a pretty seashell that I probably found. So I was
There-
walking around.
Absolutely. You guys. One thing I will say is that while in Calypso's temple, there's never a place that like the only place that you feel even remotely as comfortable as you do here is on your own ship. Like it's like it feels like home. It's like you just like you feel like you can relax, kick your feet up. You guys get quite the good rest. And then I imagine bid farewell to the sea elf, and then once again hold hands, sing kumbaya, make Zezel puke, and appear back on your own plane at Candlekeep.
In the is that guarded guy? I want to bypass him completely.
Not giving me any knowledge, just go straight to like that.
Oh, you want to like ride into
Sneak
Candlekeep?
into
You can. Yeah, I mean, you do you, but
You're going with me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
he's taking us wherever the fuck he wants to.
Yeah, so you guys.
I'm gonna fucking dimension door to the gates.
So there are some. Candlekeep is very magically protected. You aim that direction, but you find yourself right there at the very front, at the front of the gates. However, there is no guard up front, and there's black scorch marks all over the walls of Candlekeep.
Sweet.
It looks like something bad happened here.
how
How
far
long
away?
ago?
You're maybe 50 feet from the wall, from the door. You know what I mean?
Like, are there scorch marks near us?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It looks like somebody tried to force their way in.
Do an investigation check and see like if they're still hot, or
They are not.
so this was at least a day. Yeah.
Are the gates open? Still pushing on
Yeah.
Actually, let's do another commune with nature.
Okay.
300.
3 miles, right?
Gotcha. Yeah. So you do sense that there are some. There are people.
Anybody alive?
Yeah, there are people alive inside Candlekeep. Which you get a sense that they're kind of like in hiding, like weathering the storm, so to speak, of whatever happened on the outside of this. As far as like the plants and fauna and all that kind of stuff. Okay, yeah, I was about to say. But as far as like influences from, you do feel an influence. You feel like a residual influence from the Nine Hells, as a whole lot of devilish / demonic type of magic was slung, and a whole lot of fire magic was slung at this fucking place. But you do get the sense, though, despite the situation, you don't get the sense that Candlekeep was breached.
Oh, okay.
I want to try and send a message as far in past the gate as I can.
Okay. So like just try to find
Call for somebody.
call for somebody nearest the gate. Yeah, you try to try to feel out for another mind near you, and
Nothing.
no, there's nothing close to the gate.
I was totally expecting you to just be like, you get the smut, dude.
Yeah, he's the only one left.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, you guys are just standing out front. Like I said, it doesn't look like the walls were necessarily entirely breached, or that you think that's just kind of whatever happened though was, even though the walls are no longer hot, that it was probably very recent.
Anybody responses at the gate?
Yeah, you guys just go walk up to and like start beating on the door, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
At least throw the gun away, you know.
sure, yeah.
The least threatening cop knock ever.
Yeah. Yeah, so you guys are kind of pounding on the gate and trying to get someone's attention within. And you guys spend some time outside before, right about when you're getting close to giving up and trying something else. You hear a voice on the other side of the door weakly say, "Who goes there?"
I will
It
announce.
is,
Yeah.
You weren't there. Was Uru dead?
No.
Nope.
No. Okay.
I was just going to announce it is the Gym Reapers. We're here to help. I'm with the United States government.
Uncle Sam's not gonna open up.
It's the tax man.
I'll just announce this by our
Crew name.
Yeah.
It's the gyms.
crew name. It's the gyms.
Yeah. They say, what do you want?
We're here to help.
Help with what?
We can heal wounded. We can.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were here to gain some knowledge, but seeing as the place is in a state of ruin, we can help slightly.
It's been ruined.
Hold on. You hear them say, like, hold on. And after some time, you hear a familiar voice to you, Perry. You hear an older voice call out, "What's your names?"
Tony.
Do I?
Yeah.
Do I recognize it to be the map maker? Okay. I yell out that it's Perry. I met with you months ago in regards to a map, and we're seeking some more knowledge. And I have some information I can provide you.
If you really are Perry, what did you ask me for the last time you were here?
Your map making spell.
After a few moments, you begin to hear latches and things, magical latches and stuff unlocking on the other side, and you're greeted with the not smiling, but and worn-looking face of the map maker. And he says, "Welcome back, but we still have tradition to uphold. Do you have anything to add to the library?"
I can provide you information on the missing portion of your map.
All right, absolutely. Let's right this way then. And he says, "Can I see the map that you have?"
Absolutely.
You begin to show him the map, and he's just like, like he's enamored with it. And you see, despite the probably shitty 24 hours he's had, he's still like his love of map making and maps at heart begins to show through. And he leads you guys back through, to some of you familiar and to some of you unfamiliar, passages of Candlekeep to his map making room, into his office, and begins to do his little thing, and copy your map onto his map, completing his map. And he says, well, now I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. My map is complete. And he says, what else can I do for you? What knowledge do you seek here now?
We are looking for a gemstone that is said to be hidden within the walls of Candlekeep.
A gemstone. Do you have any more information other than that? There are many gems that are within these walls.
Well,
We have some. We're actively recruiting gems.
You see, he's kind of puzzled for a moment. He's like, "Who are you? What?" Yeah, I don't remember you. I think I remember a blue one. Yeah. And he says, "You may copy whatever you would like, or whatever, but nothing that is within the walls of Candlekeep may leave." The walls of Candlekeep.
What if it's for life or death of the plane of existence? We all are on.
Well, I suppose that might be a slightly different story. What evidence do you have that? Okay, hold on, pause. And he's like, first off, what gem are you looking for?
I'm gonna give him the rundown of
Yeah.
You start
everything.
You see a montage.
And just start telling the story.
Yeah.
He says,
Like we have visuals back in our shit, but I mean.
"Oh, of course, I'm not privileged to every artifact within these walls, but that's not something I've heard of. I'll have to inquire into this. Who told you? Where did you hear that this existed behind these walls?"
Very
Seeress.
powerful. Seeress.
Okay, Seeress.
You see him, it's kind of his brow furrow, and he says, "You mind me asking the name of the Seeress?"
I don't really want to provide her name. We met with her on an isle at the Sea of Fallen Stars.
You see he lets out a little intake of breath and then a little bit of a sigh, and he says, "Yes, allow me to inquire into this. Give me some time." And he says, "But in the meantime, feel free to look around, but don't." And he looks over at you and he says, "Don't touch anything."
I was gonna say, what happened
Yeah.
here?
What can we do in the meantime to help you guys a little bit?
What happened?
Yeah.
There was an attack.
Did they breach?
No, we suspect that they were just testing us.
Okay. You guys need me
Just
aid?
rained fire on the outside. No, everyone's all right. Everyone's just mostly hiding. We have
I'm
protection.
gonna tell him that they're most likely looking for the gym as well. The people who attacked
Yeah.
first.
I understand.
I will.
Um,
Does he look injured at all?
no, just tired.
Give him a nap.
I mean,
Give him a dirt nap.
I cast sleep in the rear naked form.
Yeah. But he says, give me some time. I must speak with some of the others." He says, "In the meantime, sit, relax. I'm sure you've had quite a long journey." And he disappears. While he's gone, is there anything that you guys be doing? Perry, rifling through shit looking for that spell.
Touching everything.
Just anything in the interim that you guys would be attempting to do.
Just touching everything.
As I just walk around. Boop, 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 boop. um, yeah, so
Maybe taking the shard to somebody who knows something about it.
Ooh, the jar of dirt. Sure.
yeah, you so pathetic. But so you're just gonna try to maybe venture around and see if you can find somebody that would know something about this thing. Okay, so you leave the map maker's office and make your way down a hall, and you encounter another monk going about his business, carrying a few scrolls in his arms, and he says, "Oh, hello there. Can I help you?" Kind of like blocking you from going further down the hall, kind of thing, like wandering around. He's like, and so you present the you present the thing to him, and he says, "That's I have no idea, but I'm sure we might have some books on that sort of thing. I'll see what I can find about the Nine Hells." And he kind of scurries off, and while you guys are waiting, like hours pass. Probably 2 hours have passed, and you guys are still waiting in his office.
Oh, I'm touching his entire desk.
As in this time, the other monk has brought you guys some books about the Nine Hells and what is known about the Nine Hells. Most of them are kind of at least one that he brings you is kind of like I don't know, there's like a freaking like beginner's guide to the Nine Hells, but it's almost like just kind of like
Nine
a
Hells for dummies.
kind of thing. But yeah, it's just talks about different layers, and it talks about which, for the sake of not spoiling the other campaign we're in, I haven't done a whole lot of research into what's in the Nine Hells, just because I don't want to spoil anything for myself about that. But it kind of details different things about the various layers and the different maybe what is known of the different entities that may exist on each of those layers. But you don't find anything in any of the books about this entity. He who watches, unfortunately. But what you do find is you find a little excerpt about an instance that happened where some powerful wizard created basically a very, very, very small gateway between one layer of the Nine Hells and this plane of existence. And it wasn't a gateway that you could pass through, but it was a gateway that you could spy through. And basically something that you could see and hear, almost like as if you were present in that area, wherever this thing was.
So this thing's just sitting in a jar of dirt.
So
in our muffled conversation.
maybe. But you could find an excerpt about something like that.
I think it's only one way.
Well, considering the little vision you had,
two-way mirror.
you don't know. Maybe you might be able to, if you're willing to risk injury. If you're willing to risk it, you may be able to catch a glimpse on the other side of it.
Sure.
What it sees.
Yeah.
Genius.
What is your guidance?
It's a D4.
So you're gonna try to open this jar and touch
No,
this thing?
no.
Okay, I was about to say
I'm gonna
yeah.
Look at it again.
Yeah.
Did you say one?
No, I don't have
I
guidance.
said Flash of Genius, which will just give you a solid +5.
Oh. So 13. Plus, wait, what am I?
Plus a D4 plus.
No, what's
five.
the
What's
skill?
he rolling?
Oh,
Is that
let's-
Arcana?
yeah, Arcana.
Intelligence, right? Yeah. So 14.
14. Yeah, with a 14, you try, but you get the sense that if you really want, you get the sense that if you really want to know, you're gonna have to touch this thing. But it's very. You get this like, you kind of the pickle that you're in is, okay, if I touch this thing, then what is it gonna find out about me too?
Yeah.
Like, because it may look both ways, and I may get a lot of information, but it may get a lot of information as well.
What if we had
Whatever's on the other side,
one of the gems touch it?
you could try that.
I mean, aren't they like knowledgeable too? About like
They-
what's going on?
I'm
Yeah,
talking
say,
about one of our
you'd be
new
surprised.
gems.
Oh,
Oh,
the ones that
well,
we're
then-
recruiting.
Cannon
R.I.P.
fodder.
R.I.P. the newest shit.
Drunk guy.
Just fucking speed run his service for you guys. like,
Last in, first out.
yeah, exactly.
Here's your pension. Here's
Yeah.
your sign-on bonus.
Oh, go ahead. Before
Here's
you
your
do this,
sign-on
go
bonus.
ahead and mail this to your family.
Here's your sign-on bonus and severance package.
Yeah.
All in one. It's all inclusive.
So. Yeah, so that's kind of the sense you get from it. If you're going to save it, try to see if you can get a gem to look at it or whatever you'd like to do.
Alright, we may sit on that one for a minute. But there's no information about. Is it cursed or is it just?
Yeah, so it's kind of it's like curse essentially. Curse is just kind of like. Well, so you're talking about like schools of magic in 5e. Like there are things that are like specifically curses, but like it's just that kind of style of magic. Yeah, meaning only that it's like evil. It's not actually like. I mean, I guess you could cast detect magic on it and find if it is actually cursed to where like a remove curse spell might affect it.
Sure.
I mean, you could do that.
Okay.
You gotta get a better idea of like, you know what I mean?
We're
What?
not using identify yet.
Yeah, I'll detect magic.
Yeah, so you cast detect magic on it, and actually, yes, it does. It seems to actually be a legitimate curse that has been placed on this. And the curse, the effects of the curse are that it is essentially like to a mirror. You can see through it from both sides. Now it's going to be a little fuzzier looking one way, but if you cup your hands, you can see a little bit, kind of thing.
So how would I go about trying to cast remove curse from the Lithis spell book? Would I be able to?
So is that one of the spells that you were studying?
It wasn't initially.
It wasn't initially. So yeah, you have to basically study and learn the spell. So essentially, you have to commit the spell to memory and then long rest.
I think we also need to find a spell by teleport so we can get around this plane shift.
Teleport's in here too.
It's only 500 feet though, right? Or is that
I don't know.
dimension door?
Dimension door's 500 feet.
Okay, yeah. I knew one of them was 500 feet. I don't know what teleport is.
So
Okay. I think we'll sell it for now.
Alright, homie.
yeah, so we were the last few minutes before we call this. After several hours, after probably close to 4 hours spent waiting in his office.
Do you notice anything askew on his desk when he
You're sitting in it.
Yeah, you're sitting
I'm sitting on his desk.
asleep. It's like fucking.
I don't
drooling a
need
little
to
bit.
sleep ever. I'm just like,
He's got like one of his other maps like rolled up, tucked in the pillow, and he's like drooling on. No. Eventually he comes back in, but this time, with another individual.
Not a range on it.
Okay.
And
But I gotta roll a D100.
ooh,
What's T1?
surprises.
But yeah, a lot of things.
Okay. I know we're in short time, so.
this individual comes in and says, you could tell they both look absolutely exhausted. And the map maker gives you this distinct impression just by the look of stress on his face that there's been some arguing going on about this entire situation. But this other gentleman who's a little younger, but not much, or at least younger looking, but not much. Very tall, well over 6 feet tall, slender, dressed in robes. Says, "Well, we've come to a decision. But first, what do you have to trade?"
Your lives, my good ones.
Do you actually say that to him?
Yeah.
He says, "I do not handle threats well, good sir."
That's not a threat from us. That's just letting you know we're
Facts, bro.
Yeah.
The
not by
did
our
the walls
hands.
did the walls fall
Not
for the
yet.
attack?
But we well no.
These walls have never fallen.
Do you know what you're dealing with, though?
We have some idea, yes.
Okay.
And
What
why-
is that?
And
We'll
why,
let you handle it.
and
Come
why,
on, guys.
And why should we give our most powerful weapon away?
Weapon.
Oh.
So you know what we're here for?
I know the skull, yes.
Well, I guess now
Is
we're
that
using
Using it?
Use that thing as a weapon, you return it to a lich.
Here's why.
Actually,
Allow me to explain.
On our person, we have 4 of the skulls. And as you may well be aware, if a gem is broken, the Leviathan will be summoned where the majority of the skulls are.
You can tell he was not aware of that. He's like,
So for your safety and everybody's safety, we need that skull.
he was like, wait a sec. He like,
As far as having the skulls.
okay, roll insight from here real quick.
25.
He didn't know there was more than one. He thought he had the only one. He didn't know. He didn't know that there was. He just thinks it's a very, very, very powerful magical item.
This guy's old, right? Listen here, old man. We are.
Just imagine Perry just like.
Contrary to your belief, we're a lot more knowledgeable on this subject than you may be. So I'm gonna need you to trust us.
We're smart. You're starting to get red in the face, and he goes, "If you have others, then prove it."
As Perry's talking, I just grab one out of his bag and hold
He
a
does-
dagger.
You guys don't have them.
We
You
don't
guys,
have
you
'em.
guys put them in the safe at Zaxxarot.
Yeah, we don't
Damn
have
it.
them. So
Ooh, yeah,
Is there any
Chase
bone
you.
around? Can I make a fake one?
well, hold on.
You got it?
All right.
So I just gotta look at the spell description.
Illusion.
I just burnt that one back. Or I could use a hard spell.
I got it. No.
If we pull one of the skulls out, it'll fly towards the other gym. We don't want to risk that because it could
We don't-
break in the
we don't have
process
any
of
of
moving
those.
towards the other gym.
No, that's what he's saying.
Oh, okay.
We already told him we do. So I was gonna say we could do Mirage Arcane, which is a high level illusion spell.
Do you have that?
Yeah, I have.
And what does it do? I don't have something that
Me.
I'd be able to.
Now this app.
Because
is not-
prestidigitation, I don't think is gonna work. That's a
You make an area up to 1 square mile look, sound, smell, and even feel like some other sort of terrain. The terrain's general shape remains the same, however, open field road can be made to resemble a swamp hill, crevasse, or some other terrain. Okay, so this is environment. Okay, similarly, you can alter the appearance of structures or add them where none are present. The spell doesn't disguise, conceal, or add creatures. The illusion includes audible, visual, tactile, and olfactory elements, so it can turn clear ground into difficult terrain, or vice versa. Any piece of illusionary terrain, such as rock or stick, that is removed from the spell's area disappears immediately. Creatures of true sight can see through the illusion to the terrain's true form. However, all other elements of the illusion remain. So while the creature is aware of the illusion's presence, the creature can still physically interact
I have an
with the
idea.
illusion.
We're gonna pull out the
I
jar
have
of dirt with a little shard in it.
That's a good idea. And do
Show him that we have a gem.
Try to deceive him.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the only thing about that spell that you're talking
Yeah,
about
it's
is that
like
spell seems to be
environment.
specific to an
So,
environment.
I'm gonna pull out the jar of dirt with the gem, but may not be in the skull, but this is one of the gemstones. Can I roll deception?
Yes, you're gonna have to roll deception and against his insight.
Got it.
Oh no, because I can't actually touch it.
Anybody want guidance on me?
Guidance.
Yeah, guidance from me too.
Okay.
Alright, flash of genius.
So you get 2d4 plus 5.
Yeah.
2d4 plus 5.
Please not one.
It's not great.
Alright, so 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
You beat him by
Woo!
You beat him by 1.
92.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
would have
I
had
saw
all
that
that
down
too, and I was like, ah, shit.
I'm gonna go.
And he kind of does like this, and you're like you just move it just enough to where he, and he says,
He knows where the gem is.
Yeah, but could you point it out first?
and he says,
But so the other thing I was gonna say is the other guy probably knows where this too now.
Maybe.
And so if he also touches it and finds out it's not a gem, just immediately cast that.
He's not gonna touch it.
He might. We don't tell him.
he touched
We're not giving it to him.
If he pulls it out, lets him investigate it, and he pulls it out himself, touches it without nobody telling him. So one, you run the risk of finding what the curse does, and second of all, you can just feeble-mind him.
No.
Anyway, it worked. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so he's like, how many of them are there?
Tell me where the gem is.
It is hidden in a safe within this keep, but if it's truly just one of many pieces, and it actually poses a danger to Candlekeep, I would like to know.
Yeah.
What, like, how many are there?
There's 9.
There's 9 of them.
And they all hold shards of a ancient beast.
So I take it this is where I'm giving a history lesson.
Yeah.
It says, so if these contain the shard of this creature, then how come we can use it? Well, I can use it.
Well, how are you using
Oh,
it?
shoot.
How are you using it?
Yeah, how are you using it?
He extends his hand, and it's set into the palm of his hand.
Ah, man. Good job, Santa.
Yeah, right. Thanks.
Bye.
Who's got the bag? Who's got the bag?
I don't have a bag. No,
I don't think we have a
don't
bag.
have
Wait,
we
no,
had the
wait.
coat.
The coat, yeah.
Coat holding.
Throw his hand in there.
Thank you. No,
Would that be a way of destroying the gem? Is if you put one of the gems in a bag of holding and then cut a bag of holding,
bro.
or if you got a bag of devouring?
Bro, that would just destroy the fact of reality in your head. Oh shit.
But anyway, I'm super tempted to cut his hand off.
Do you say that out loud?
No, I wanna-
Bro, I'm super tempted to cut your hand off right now.
like, please tell me you haven't bonded with the
No, I think it's obvious.
Yeah, it's set in yeah. It's
Wait a second.
What kind of power did you get from it?
Yeah.
he begins to start detailing how how he had how he can do all these different these new spells. He had no ability to really use he was a very low level magic user as far as being able to use wizard spells and things like that before that. now he can read the arcane language of magic and do spells. He can very powerful spells. He has like, and he just goes like, he tells you how like he's like his age has like he's like become more youthful, like as far as his appearance and stuff like that. He tells you like he's like all this like energy and all this kind of stuff he has, but he hasn't really like you sort of get the impression that he hasn't really like properly used this fucking thing yet. You know what I mean? So he had exactly, yeah. He hasn't really like taken this bad boy for a test drive, so to speak.
So is it? Would he have to die?
So I was gonna say we could say out loud. All right, buddy.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Like,
Is there anyone else in the room besides him?
Yeah.
Matt Maker. Okay.
You either need to come with us, or
do you realize what you've done?
You.
Why do you think it's like? I'm just gonna be like, why do you
Insight.
think it's, yeah. Insight. Okay.
17.
I got
I got
a
13.
non-nat 20.
Yeah, you guys all it's pretty plain and evident at this point that like this dude's bluff is completely gone at this point. Like he is, like, he's now kind of started. He's a little scared now. Whether you say that like he doesn't like, no, he does not realize what he's done. Like he does not realize what he's done to himself. He has no idea. Like, but he's starting like as you're saying this, he's starting kind of put it together. Like there's no way to get this off. Like he's starting to think to himself, oh fuck.
So we just try to get him to come with us.
I mean, he's gonna have to die. No
I
matter
don't
what.
know.
He's gonna have to
I
die.
think for now. Well, okay, killing him elsewhere is gonna be easier than here.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna
the
say.
gym and come with us.
Like, smoke with me in 10. Yeah.
Unless we can like help him realize that like his death is potentially gonna save the Forgotten Realm.
Well, it's either that or yeah, I don't know. You could dump the other gems maybe somewhere in
Yeah,
another
he's
plane.
either gonna like. I'm gonna be straight up with him. I'm gonna be like, you can either come with us or you're gonna have to die.
Because either we're
There's
gonna
no
do
way
it,
to unbind from that.
and it's gonna kill you eventually.
Yeah.
He starts to become like, you could definitely tell he's like scared. Like he's not. He was not prepared for that. Yeah, he was not prepared for that. And I think honestly, this might be a good place to call it because we're 10 minutes
We're gonna
past.
start this
almost.
whole
Yeah.
interrogation thing.
Yeah, this whole like, so you guys